I'll have one of the coaches radio you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at home. We will be getting this game underway shortly here on the broadcast tonight. I'll have Ralph Carpentier with me. Again, folks, we will have the game broadcast for you in just a few moments. Thank you.
It's actually going north, but it's going west and then north. So it's my meteorological diagnosis for the night. Of course, I'll be wrong. But if I was half right, I could still get paid good money, right?
Be halfway ahead of them.
I know, right?
Looks great. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as fall and football are in the air here, as we are coming to you live from the Merrimack TV studios this evening, as we are going to be covering the Clash of Titans as the Salem Blue Devils will be taking on your hometown Merrimack Tomahawks. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by my broadcast partner this evening, the one and only Ralph Carpentier. Ralph, we covered the BG game just a few weeks ago. It was a battle through the year. Merrimack quarterback Kyle Crampton looked great out there. Tonight we have some wet conditions. What do you expect to see in the second tilt of the year for Merrimack?
It's a great question, Dave. I think a lot of times the conventional knowledge would be to say run the ball and keep the ball on the ground and kind of grind it out a bit. However, it is said that it is easier to throw the ball in wet conditions to get a little bit better grip on the ball. So let's see what both teams decide to do today. But I'm looking forward to a great match. I'm glad to be back on the air with you and seeing some more Merrimack football.
It really is quite a pleasure and an honor to be here tonight at the Merrimack TV studios broadcasting this game. As you mentioned, Ralph, You know, it could be an aerial show here. We could see if it's easier to throw the ball through the rain. We're going to find out. I think at a bare minimum, though, we are really going to see quite a battle at the line of scrimmage. As you all know, Dylan Sadowski had quite a game in week 1 of this season as he was dominant against Bishop Girton. I would imagine you're going to see a performance like that again this evening.
Yeah, that's what I'd be expecting up front there. That entire front seven really put a lot of pressure on the Bishop Girton Cardinals last time we came to you, and I really am curious to see if they can do that again here against Salem. We shall see as we are about to kick off here.
We are going to find out here, folks, as Salem in your home Blues will be kicking off to the road team, your Merrimack Tomahawks. Nice kick right there, deep. That's going to be returned up at the 10-yard line, being brought back up here by appears to be number 5. Taken down right there, what appears to be just past the 20-yard line here. So Merrimack will take over on offense. You have junior quarterback Kyle Crampton under center this evening. We're going to find out if this rain is going to have an impact on the game tonight. It's going to be really interesting to see. It looks pretty soggy out there. Could be an advantage to the receivers if they can get open.
Absolutely. I think the test will be how the defensive sides will be able to react to the offense here tonight. And we'll see if we see that same spread formation we saw just a few weeks ago. And it appears we do. Another 4-receiver set here with one lone back.
Crampton looking over to the sideline right here. Surveying the field, making his pre-snap read here as Merrimack begins on offense. Oh, it looks like we might have a penalty right there. Could be an offsides on Salem High School.
So it looks like, Dave, I saw the official there pointing to the Salem sideline there. And it looks like we're going to get a couple extra yards here for the Tomahawks.
And the Tomahawks will take it. Head coach Kip Jackson getting his offense rolling here in some difficult conditions. Merrimack 1-0 tonight, taking on the 1-1 Salem Blue Devils. Also, folks, if you're watching tonight's game, we are our friends at the Salem TV, Community TV studio have been so kind, Barb Berthel in particular, as they are letting us use their feed this evening. So that's why you're not seeing the normal complement of graphics that you'd see on the lower third of the screen. So we are using the Salem High School feed tonight as Merrimack moving the ball here on offense.
That's right, Dave. We definitely saw a couple of run plays there to start after that initial encroachment penalty on Salem. Again, we are seeing Merrimack going 4 wide with a lone setback here, and Crampton looking out wide to Trahan.
That pass thrown in a tight spiral right there, complete to the running back, Jake Trahan. Nice pickup right there by Merrimack. As they move on here into second down. Medium yardage right here. The whole playbook really open to Merrimack as Crampton surveys the field. Looking back over to the sideline for the play. Pass complete right there.
Crampton really threaded the needle on that play.
We might be getting our answer immediately as far as whether or not Merrimack's actually going to be throwing the football tonight as they're coming out, sticking true to their form, similar game plan to what we saw against Bishop Girton a few weeks ago.
That was Shea Goodwin there on the catch.
Man in motion. Crampton has some issues with the snap right there. Looks like that might have been a fumble, and Salem may have recovered. Again, wet conditions tonight. That ball is going to be difficult to hold on to. There's a pile under there. Referees are going to sort this one out, make an official call. And it's going to be Salem ball here as they will take over with some good field position.
After a really strong start there, moving the ball, tough play there. We also are going to see, it looks like, a personal foul penalty on Salem that will back them up a bit and take away some of that strong field position. We'll see if the Merrimack defense can do what it did and stifle this Salem Blue Devil offense.
That penalty really eating up a large chunk of yardage right there. That yardage could be at a premium tonight, especially as conditions get worse as the evening goes on. Salem coming out here. Quarterback is under center. Number 23 is in motion, and the flags are flying.
Seeing another signal there for encroachment this time on the Merrimack Tomahawks, Dave. Couple quick early penalties, it looks like, for both teams.
Couple early penalties here. Surprise, it was mostly a mistake-free game that they had played against the Bishop Girton Cardinal a few weeks back. Again, it's been a few weeks since Merrimack's played, so they may have to work on getting sharper here as we work through the opening moments here of the first quarter.
Big gang tackle there as the Salem Blue Devils tried to go to their left side, and then right side of the defense was strong there, holding up. Looks like they might have actually lost yardage.
Excellent pursuit right there by the Merrimack defensive line. Just as a reminder to everybody that's tuning in on Merrimack TV and also watching the feed live on Facebook, if you're wondering where the score and your normal complement of graphics are, we will not have those this evening as we are using the live feed from our friends down in Salem who have been so kind to provide that to us tonight. When Merrimack has home games, you will see those graphics and the score posted up on the screen. Salem quarterback Cody Clements under center here, surveying the defense, sending number 15 in motion. Toss out past the right tackle. Big run right there by number 15. He is not going to be stopped there, ladies and gentlemen. Inside the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown.
Big play on the pitch there.
Really, really some great blocking out in front from the Salem High School offensive line right there. Very well done, very well executed. Tough break right there for Merrimack. Still very early in the game, very early here in the first quarter.
It was a very interesting adjustment there from Salem. They had tried to go to their left side there against the right side of the Tomahawk defense, which had been unsuccessful on multiple plays, trying to get some speed out there on the right there. They actually ran at Dylan Sadowski there, which might have taken away his ability to pursue the play, and might be a smart decision there by Salem moving forward, as he is a beast on that defensive line.
And the extra point right there is good as Salem High School pull ahead by one touchdown, 7-0. Want to take this opportunity, too, while we have a break and play. I know we have a lot of friends of Merrimack TV that are going to be watching tonight, fans of the Merrimack High Tomahawks watching the football team. Want to give a nice shout-out to a few locals here to Merrimack. Want to shout out the Malone family in particular. Number 71 from the Merrimack Cardinals. That's Jackson Malone playing right guard. He's had one heck of a season, I've heard. He is out there just road grading, knocking guys over, and really clearing the way out there on the offensive line, being a dominant force. Also want to give a shout out as well to his friend, the one and only Blake Kerrigan, number 50. They have a big tilt coming up this Sunday against the Goffstown Grizzlies. Should be a pretty good one. Looking forward to that as we get ready here, as Salem will be kicking the ball off to the Merrimack High Tomahawks. 9:46 here left in the first quarter.
Dave, I'm really looking forward here to how Merrimack responds there. They were really moving the ball well, and just a little miscommunication between Kyle Crampton and his running back led to that loose ball there. They were super successful running those RPOs last week, or the run pass option, as they're called. And I think we'll see how well they respond. They certainly responded against Bishop Girton a couple weeks back. Let's see if they can knock that rust off and put together a strong drive.
Yeah, you have to figure that they're going to be primed to come out here and go right back up to the air and throw the ball all over the field here, trying to find the weaknesses in the Salem defense. But it just goes to show you that, whoever wins the battle of the turnovers in a game is usually going to be the team that comes out on top here. So Salem right there picking up the first turnover and turning that back into 7 points. Let's see if Merrimack here can answer as they take over on first down at their own 35-yard line.
For those of you watching, too, that 35-yard line is in play because of an illegal procedure penalty. That kickoff went out of bounds, and Merrimack intelligently let that happen so that they could get additional yardage on the play.
Snap to Crampton, rolls out to his right here, looking downfield, fires. Hits his receiver wide open. That is number 8. That's going to be Justin Fournier right there, the running back. Senior running back, in fact. Nice pass right there. You have to figure head coach Kip Jackson is really going to go out of his way to get Crampton in motion here. Try to move him about as they hand off on a jet sweep. Looking to move up the field, dragging defenders with him. Nice gain right there out of Merrimack. Again, that's number 8, Fournier.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do offensively. Again, they've had a couple weeks to prepare to play. I believe this was kind of finalized, this matchup here with Salem fairly recently, which was supposed to occur earlier in the season. And we are seeing some different names get their numbers called today, so let's see how that plays.
Nice handoff right there to number 14. Big gain going right up the middle. He had a lot of daylight right there. That is Jacob Eunice, who also had a fantastic game against Bishop Girton a couple of weeks ago. Merrimack here moving the ball well early. Tough break on that turnover in their first drive. Also want to take this opportunity, too, if you're watching this on Facebook, let us know in the comments, and we'll give you a shout-out during tonight's game. We always appreciate hearing from our fans. There are a lot of you out there at home that are watching. And also, if you're watching on Merrimack TV Channel 21, follow us on Twitter at Merrimack TV and tag us in the tweet. We'll give you a shout-out during tonight's game as well. We always like to hear from all the fans out there that are supporting this fantastic Merrimack High Tomahawks team. Crampton opening back up here in the shotgun spread formation. Takes the snap cleanly, looking downfield. Good protection mostly, but he's going to take off and run. And he's going to quietly take that out of bounds. Just outside the 10-yard line, it appears. Nice pickup right there by Crampton, showing that he's a dual threat both with his arm and with his feet.
Absolutely. He definitely looks to throw first from what I've seen these couple weeks. However, it is good to know that he has that escapability when the pocket does close in a little around him. But always keeping those eyes downfield, Dave.
Always have to keep those eyes downfield, indeed, looking for that big play. Again, first quarter action here. Salem scored first off of a Merrimack turnover. They're up 7-0. If you are tuning in at home, we will not have the clock nor our normal complement of graphics that we will be putting up with the score because we are using the Salem TV feed this evening. They were so kind as to let us use that feed so that we could broadcast it to all of our incredible fans throughout the Merrimack community.
What a great response so far here from Merrimack, Dave. You had the turnover on the handoff after initial march down the field that led then to a pitch from Salem that led to a long touchdown. But we are now seeing Merrimack really just grind down the field with passes and runs.
Rare negative play right there out of Merrimack as Crampton is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit right there from both the first and the second levels from the Salem defense. As it looks like Merrimack here will bring out the kicking unit with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left. Merrimack traveling to Salem High School tonight to take on the Blue Devils. Again, Merrimack undefeated thus far in the season, 1-0. Salem is 1-1. Should be a really fantastic contest this evening. Hey, Ralph, have you watched Outdoors with Bob?
Are you kidding? I've got a few episodes.
Well, Ralph, that's fantastic because Bob LaRue and the Outdoors with Bob crew travel throughout the state to bring the rest of New Hampshire to your home on Merrimack TV. Check the Channel 22 schedule at merrimacktv.com.
Bob is a Merrimack TV legend here. Definitely someone who puts on a really quality program amongst a high level of quality programming.
He is definitely a legend. Outdoors with Bob, always a fantastic watch, so make sure you all are checking that out at home.
So interesting coming out of that timeout, Dave. It's looking like Merrimack will go for it on 4th and 3 with the ball around the 10-yard line.
Crampton looking out, overthrows his receiver there, unfortunately. Have to wonder if that might have been a wet football that contributed to that slight miscue. Not easy to throw in these conditions, as Merrimack will turn it over here on downs, and Salem will take over an offense deep in their own territory.
I like the call, Dave. I think it's one of those plays where you know that even though the defense gave up one big play today, they were pretty stout early on against the run, and they were stout against Bishop Girton just a few weeks ago. So let's give Salem the tough task of marching 90 yards down the field.
Absolutely. Put that trust back in your defense here. Salem looking a handoff right here to the fullback. It's number 4. Fighting to stay up here, but he's going to be tackled well behind the line of scrimmage. That was Jacob Brady, the senior, for the Salem High Blue Devils.
And most of the defense for the Merrimack Tomahawks.
I would say that they were all in on that tackle. This will be second down here for Salem, deep in their own end. They're going to have a long way to go, as this game is 7-0 right now. Salem scoring on a long handoff early on in the first quarter off of a Merrimack turnover with the pitch going out left. Merrimack with good contain right there as they're going to wrestle that ball carrier out of bounds. Well short of a first down as we move on to third down.
Much less success, Dave, there compared to the last outside run they had. It looks like Kip Jackson and his team have made an adjustment here that is giving Salem a different look than what they saw before.
Absolutely, and those adjustments on the sidelines, so very key. As Salem is going to come out here on a long third down I formation. Pitch out to the right, looking for that power sweep play right there, but Merrimack is all over that. As Salem will go 3 and out here on this offensive series.
Strong defensive stand from Merrimack. But let's also just do a quick shout out here to Tomahawks fan Robert E. Smith from Norwood, Massachusetts, watching the game at home.
Big shout out to Robert right there, tuning in from Norwood. Big fan of the Tomahawks. We love hearing that. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, let us know in the comments, and we will shout you out during the game. Ralph and I are always happy to shout the fans out. And if you're watching on Merrimack TV as well, follow us on Twitter at Merrimack TV. Tag us in the tweet, and we'll give you a shout out as well in tonight's game.
Dave and I may be in our 30s, but we do know how to use the social media.
That is true.
Another quick shout out here to Caroline Masterson, Christy Bradshaw, and Luann Johnson, Tomahawk fans watching live tonight in Merrimack TV's Facebook page.
All right.
Thanks again for joining us, everybody.
Third down, 15. 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. Salem ahead 7-0. Merrimack with 2 impressive drives, one that ended in a turnover. Another one. Big handoff right here. A lot of daylight for number 23 from Salem. Trying to get past that third level. Sheds a tackle. He's going to be tackled at roughly the Merrimack 37-yard line. Again, for those of you that have just tuned in, we will not have the score clock and the normal graphics that you would see up on the screen because we are using the Salem Community TV feed. Number 21 in motion. Salem dropping back to pass, looking downfield, looking deep downfield, just missing his receiver right there. That pass is going to fall incomplete. That ball intended for number 1, Caleb Bates.
Looked like he was going to pull an Odell Beckham in there, one-handed, but
it almost looked like he was going to go up and grab that one for a second.
Tough throw, tough catch. But I do want to shout out, as this is school sports, I'm a real big fan of shouting out sportsmanship there, and you had Justin Fournier there helping up his counterpart from the Salem Blue Devils there.
Always good to see that on the gridiron. Salem under center handoff. It's going to be a nice 6-yard gain right there from the running back. That's number 15. That's Aiden McDonald, the junior.
Salem showing a lot of speed today. The inside run isn't getting them quite as much as they were probably hoping against the stout Merrimack defense, but they have been able to get outside a little bit, and contain has been lost at times. We'll see how this 2-week layoff really impacts Merrimack moving forward.
3rd down and 5 right here. Salem coming up to the line of scrimmage. You have to wonder if maybe a play-action pass is in the works right here. Handoff to the fullback, the halfback. Nice run right there from Salem. Really getting it done on the ground here so far. Opting to stay out of the air and instead hand it off as they have a tandem of running backs that have really looked strong thus far. Looking to add to their 7-0 lead.
First down, Salem here inside the Merrimack 30-yard line.
Quarterback's going to keep it there on the option. That's number 8, Cody Clements. Nice play right there. Salem chewing up some clock here in the first quarter. Really doing a great job getting the run established here. It would not surprise me whatsoever if you start to see them take to the air a little bit, as Merrimack is going to be anticipating the run, as this drive, with the exception of one pass, has been almost exclusively yardage picked up through the ground here.
Yeah, Dave, very run-heavy today as we move into 2nd down.
Hand off to number 21 right there.
Touchdown, Salem, 21.
Salem's going to go ahead here 13-0 as they're going to bring out their team here to attempt the extra point with just under 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. Couple of tough breaks for Merrimack. They've moved the ball well so far. Again, they had that turnover that led to the first Salem touchdown, and then they turn it over on downs. Crampton had the open receiver. Just a tough break right there, but they've moved the ball well, so I wouldn't let that score of 14-0 fool you. 13-0. We're going to wait for Salem to complete the point-after attempt here.
They may not be kicking it from 35 yards like they do in the NFL, but it's certainly no gimme.
It is certainly no gimme whatsoever. That is not an easy kick, especially in these conditions.
While we see what the penalty is, let's just give another shout-out here to 1987 Merrimack alumni Jimmy Valuzzi watching the game with Bobby C.
Bobby C and Jimmy hanging out, watching some Friday night football here. Love to see that. Some alumni tuning in tonight. That's always fantastic.
Get another shout out in here to the Merrimack grandparents of Camden Wheeler, number 60, watching tonight at home. Grandma, Grandpa, thanks for watching and tuning in. I'm sure Camden's going to love to know that you are watching this game tonight. Go Tomahawks.
Go Tomahawks indeed. So we're going to try this point after attempt again. Snap is up, hold is down, kick looks good. And Salem will pull ahead here 14-0. Still a lot of time left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's definitely early in the game, Dave. I know that there's been a couple cuff breaks between the fumbled handoff and then the inability to convert on fourth down. I still like the fourth down attempt there, especially with the conditions. I think kicking a field goal there could be tough. And you want to trust your defense. And although the score may be 14-0, I think this is a defense you can trust and an offense that if they perhaps start getting Kyle Crampton outside the pocket again and making those throws on the run, we might see a big comeback here. And let's not forget they did have to come back from against the Cardinals at times.
Yes, they did as they prepare here to kick off. As Merrimack will take the ball over back on offense here shortly. Merrimack TV is seeking volunteers to cover school district events not limited to sports, camera operators, play-by-play like Ralph and I tonight, editing, and if you're interested in seeing more school-based programming on the channels, Merrimack TV staff will train you and loan out equipment at no cost. Become involved. Email merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. Contact Justin or Nicholas. They'd love to have more volunteers, and we'd love to feature more school-related programming.
Couple more shout-outs here to Uncle Morgo from Boston watching Dylan and Owen Sadowski, the Sadowski brothers, the Sarge and the Lieutenant.
We're going to nickname Dylan's brother the Lieutenant. For those that tuned in for the Bishop Girton game a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Dylan Sadowski was having quite a game, and Ralph and I were thinking about a nickname for him. We landed on the Sarge. So now I think we have the Sarge and the Lieutenant in the Sadowski family. Not sure if they asked for those nicknames, but they're going to have them at least for the courtesy of tonight's telecast. Incomplete pass right there. That pass intended for number 8. I believe that is Justin Fournier. Second down here for Merrimack.
The Sadowskis have a lot of fans tonight as they also have Leslie Morgan-Berg shouting out the Sadowski boys and the Merrimack teammates. Proud supporters in Massachusetts.
Love to hear that. Apparently, football runs deep in the Sadowski blood. Kyle Crampton looking to the sideline here, the junior quarterback, piloting this Merrimack offense here. I believe that's Fournier in motion. Crampton's going to take this himself. Looking for some daylight right here. A couple of nifty moves right there. May have got that just past the line of scrimmage.
Raucous crowd out there in Salem tonight. A raucous crowd.
Not as passionate and as raucous as the Merrimack fans, I can tell you that. But they're pretty good.
Is there ever?
Crampton from the shotgun. Running back split to his right. Looking downfield right here. Pressure coming from behind.
Tough break on that one, Dave. You had the two receivers collide as that looked to be a deep, complete pass there.
The plays are definitely there for them downfield, Ralph. Just a tough break right there, as you said. As Merrimack here will look to bring out the punting unit.
Here we are on fourth down. Score is 14-0 Salem with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Let's get another shout out here to Sharisa and her son Harley, both watching the Tomahawks from Nashua.
That ball was fielded cleanly. Looks like it was a fumble. And Merrimack is, in fact, going to recover that ball.
Big play, Dave. We talked a little bit earlier. You mentioned it today. We've talked about it in the past. The turnover battle is the biggest indicator in many games of who will come out on top. And we are now even at one turnover apiece. Merrimack gets the ball past midfield, looking to inch closer.
Go get it. Hold on, boys. Get it.
Crampton looking downfield right here. Passes to number 14. I believe that is Jacob Bunis. Nice move right there. Very, very shifty as he
Refusing
is tackled
to go
out of
down
bounds.
there, Dave.
As he is tackled out of bounds right there. Just past the Salem High, 30-yard line. Merrimack finally catching a break here tonight. Recovered the fumble after that muff punt, and now they are on the move here as they have been all night long, looking very strong here as they are driving once again for the third time deep into Salem territory.
It does appear that the wet conditions have been a factor. We've seen 2 fumbles between the muffed punt and the...
Nice pass downfield. That's going to be... Looks like that is going to be an incomplete pass.
Nearly intercepted by
Nearly
number
intercepted
9.
right there by number 9 from Salem. Crampton might have got away with one right there, and that's okay. You know that he's going to be looking right downfield again as Merrimack with their prolific passing attack, looking to surgically pick apart the Salem High defense. It's Crampton here, back from the shotgun, running back, split to his left. Snap is clean, looks downfield. Good rush from Salem right there, looking deep down the field. He's got a receiver wide open. That's going to be a touchdown. Your Merrimack Tomahawks. Great throw, great little pitch and catch right there. That ball complete to the one and only Jake Trahan, the senior, number 4. Nicely done right there, Ralph.
What an answer there. You're looking at a team that had fallen into a 14-0 hole, was able to pick up that muffed punt, and then you see a connection between 2 of the stars of the Tomahawk Cardinals game of a few weeks ago where Trahan receives the ball from Crampton. This is still a ball game, and I think we will see a tight game through the next 3 quarters.
Some great play calling right there from Merrimack as they were able to move the ball, drive the ball for the 3rd consecutive time. This time, they hit pay dirt as they end up scoring a touchdown on that long completion from Crampton to Trahan. As the kick is up and good, Merrimack putting their first score up on the board here as they pull a little bit closer to the Salem High Blue Devils. Salem 14, Merrimack 7. Been a high-scoring affair in some pretty tough weather conditions this evening as we still... It's hard to believe we still have 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and we've already seen 3 touchdowns this game.
Absolutely, Dave. Especially, like you said, in a game that has wet conditions. It's a little sloppy out there. I mean, it's been raining most of the day, and you've got 21 points on the board combined, and some pretty interesting and attacking plays from both Steve Abraham of the Salem Blue Devils coaching staff and Kip Jackson of your Merrimack Tomahawks.
Absolutely. As Merrimack gets prepared here to kick off to Salem. Again, folks, if you're just tuning in at home, you will not see the game clock and you will not see the scoreboard on the screen as we are using the Salem TV broadcast of tonight's game. They were very kind and generous to allow us to use their broadcast in order to bring you tonight's action, tonight's road game. So we will be making announcements of the score intermittently throughout the quarter. It's number 23 returning that past the 30-yard line. Almost breaks a tackle right there, taking that out to the Salem 37-yard line. Close enough as they will take over on offense.
Another shout out here, Dave, to Sean from Allie and Marie and the fam.
Love hearing these shout-outs tonight. So we're all coming together on a lovely Friday evening to watch some fall football here under the Friday night lights. Hand off to number 4. Good run up the middle right there. It's going to be worth about 8 yards to the Salem High School offense. That was a handoff to number 4, Jacob Brady, who has had himself a really strong game thus far. That fullback dive play, ever so popular in Madden football on the PlayStation 4 whenever you're trying to pick up short yardage. Salem going to that. Another handoff right here to number 4. Pardon me, they're going to keep that. And Merrimack is all over that, getting great pursuit, stopping that play really before it got past the line of scrimmage, Ralph.
Excellent pursuit there from the defense. You had a defensive back there or a linebacker that was able to read that play very well. I mean, we were confused here in the studio,
It's a
not
really
sure where
good
that
fake.
ball was going. So
Really excellent fake right there by Salem. You can tell that's something that they're practicing quite a bit. Those option plays. Unfortunately, number 65 down on the field for Salem High. Hopefully he is okay. That is defensive tackle and also offensive tackle Andrew Sullivan, senior. for the Salem Blue Devils, so we hope he's okay. Can you see the score? Minute 40 left here in the first quarter. Salem is ahead of the visiting Merrimack Tomahawks 14-7. Been a really exciting first quarter thus far. Merrimack, a couple of tough breaks. They turned the ball over in downs on a close fourth down where we had an open receiver. They also had an unfortunate fumble, but then they were able to get the ball back for their third possession. They're really able to drive it down the field without much resistance from the Salem defense. They have looked great on offense thus far.
Absolutely, Dave. This is one of those situations where you have a very resilient team, and I think you've got to kind of shout out both teams for resiliency. You're
Absolutely.
talking about a very interesting 2020 season, a lot of games that have not been played due to situations outside of players' controls, and they're out there working hard in the classroom, working hard in the film study.
You can really tell, Ralph, that they have done a fantastic job in practice. It's really a credit to the coaches of both high schools here as far as how well prepared both of these teams are. Given some of the layoffs that some of them have had, as number 65 is able to walk off on the field under his own power. Again, that's Andrew Sullivan. We hope that he is okay, as both teams will come back out onto the field here. Really an interesting contrast in styles here, too, as well. You've seen Merrimack really aggressive through the air, and Salem completely different. They've been handing the ball off here. They've been really content to try to pick up huge chunks of yardage on the ground. They had that long run for a touchdown to start the game after the Merrimack turnover, and we're going to see if they're going to continue with that trend here as they approach this third
and
down.
3 here.
Handoff right here. Good forward momentum right there. It's number 21. That is Thomas Allers, running back outside linebacker combination from Salem High School right there, keeping those legs churning, continuing to move positively, continuing to move forward as Salem still doing a great job here, picking up huge chunks of yardage on the ground.
Yeah, Dave, it's interesting contrast of styles as we saw Bishop Girton a couple weeks ago throw the ball fairly often with an almost similar approach to that of Merrimack, where tonight you're seeing a team that is content for short yardage here and there, maybe 1 or 2 yards, and then pulling up and getting those 6 or 7 yard gains after really pounding the ball through those holes. And then they've hit some really big outside runs as well that have really kind of hurt this Merrimack defense. So it's just another look for Merrimack to look at, and we've got 3 quarters left to make an adjustment.
Yes, they do, and that perimeter run game from Salem has really been their home run move. For those that are joining us, on the Facebook live feed, tell us where you're watching from. Are you watching in Merrimack? Maybe you live across the country watching a grandson or a nephew. We want to know. Tell us where you're from. Tell us who you're cheering for tonight.
Tough pitch there, corralled by number 23, which was a potential saver of a turnover there.
Big play right there as time will expire here on the first quarter. Salem High School Blue Devils 14 over the Merrimack Tomahawks 7. Still plenty of football left here. Really a very exciting first quarter. Very exciting first quarter indeed here. Again, if you are tuning in or just tuning in at home, please note that you will not see the clock and you will not see the scoreboard permanently displayed in the lower third of your screen. You see it right here now. That is actually the Salem Community TV live feed that they've been so generous to let us use this evening. So we will be announcing the score and the clock for you folks intermittently throughout the course of this game.
Along with some down and distance. A couple of more shout-outs here from our Tomahawk fans online. Jennifer Berkeley says, "Let's go Tomahawks." And number 81, Addison Berkeley, is her favorite. I don't know if it's a relation or not, but...
I'm sure we'll find out soon enough through the comment section here as both teams coming back out here for the start of the second quarter. And what has been a rainy night underneath the Friday night lights here, a classic NHI AA tilt between the Salem High Blue Devils and your Merrimack Tomahawks. Salem coming back out here on third down. Handoff right there up the middle, nothing doing, as that looks like it's going to be Dylan Sadowski, the sergeant on that play, gobbling that one up at the line of scrimmage, forcing Salem into a fourth down situation here. I'd imagine they're going to send the punting unit out, and they are.
A couple more shout-outs, Dave. Mitch in Merrimack wants to shout out Ryan Turley, number 25, and Annabelle Maloney shouting out Doodash.
Salem getting that punt away cleanly. Good kick right there. Number 8, that's Justin Fournier, opting to return that.
Took a tough bounce for him there, Dave. It looked like Fournier was going to let that roll out of bounds. And then a little concerned with where that ball could end up.
You have to figure with the wet turf tonight that it's entirely possible that a ball that would normally go flying by you and end up being a touchback in the back of the end zone could actually stop inside your own 20-yard line. As Merrimack here will take over on downs. Also want to shout out, too, give a big thank you to Jenna Hardy, one of the Merrimack TV volunteers. She's been recording all of the varsity soccer games this season. So shout out to Jenna Hardy. Thank you for all your hard work, your dedication and passion, not only for local sports, but for putting out great content on the channel here on Merrimack TV.
Hey, Dave, I have a question for you.
What's that, Ralph?
You like Maine, right?
I love Maine.
Well, we've got a couple friends from Buxton, Maine.
Buxton, Maine.
Tom and Michelle.
Tom and
watching
Michelle.
Goodwin and the Tomahawks.
Love hearing about that. Shout out to Buxton, Maine, and Tom and Michelle, as well as Kyle Crampton looking back, throwing, completing the pass right there to Justin Fournier, who's having himself a game thus far, taking that ball out to what looks to be the Merrimack 20-yard line.
So if you're like Tom and Michelle watching this game out of state tonight, shout us out on Facebook and let us know. We'd love to give you some credit for tuning in and supporting your family and friends here in Merrimack.
And your Merrimack Tomahawks. Tomahawks on offense right now. Salem up 14-7. Crampton taking the snap, throwing wide, just missing his receiver right there. I believe that was Jake Trahan. Rare miss right there by Crampton. He has been pretty sharp throughout tonight throwing the football as Merrimack not afraid of the elements. They're going to stick to who they are. They know who they are. They know what they do well, and they know that they're going to get out there, they're going to spread the defense out, and they're going to throw the ball all over the yard.
Dave, I think it's a smart move. I think you look at something like this and you think, oh, let's run the ball. The weather might be a little tough to get some solid footing. Let's just grind it out. But, I mean, Merrimack knows what they do well. They throw the ball well. They run the ball well outside of that spread formation. And let's stick to what we do well.
Stick to what you do well no matter what. Stick with what got you to the dance, as they say. As Salem will take over here on downs after the Merrimack punt. Again, Salem up 14-7 over your Merrimack Tomahawks with 10:22 left here in the second quarter. Handoff here to number 10, going outside the right tackle. Good gain right there. It's about a 4 or 5 yard gain for Salem. The running outside the tackles has been there for them all night. The sweep has been a play that they have gone to quite frequently and has been very successful for them thus far.
Yeah, Dave, they've really actually mixed it up pretty well on the ground. They've definitely gotten the big chunks outside the tackles, but they've also kind of grinded in on that pretty stout defense for Merrimack and has been able to pick up some yards, perhaps wearing them down a bit. That was a fairly slow moving in terms of time first quarter. Certainly not short of action, but they are looking to really grind that clock.
definitely not short of action here, and they are really sticking to their game plan. As Salem High will go back into their huddle here. They're going to look to pound the football all night long, look to wear down that Merrimack front seven. That is second down and 5. Pardon me, first down and 5. First down and 10. Looks like we're going to have some movement right there, perhaps some miscommunication on the snap count. Looks like a false start on Salem as they're going to be taking the trip back here. A little bit of a miscommunication right there on the snap count, perhaps. Got to say, though, both of these teams very well coached, as we had mentioned before. They look really sharp thus far. Salem with their ground game, they've really been hitting on all cylinders thus far. They've been able to capitalize on some Merrimack miscues. Merrimack, despite those miscues, still with 7 points on the board, looking really strong through the air and really doing a great job challenging the Salem defense here thus far through 1 quarter and change of play. Big tackle right there in the backfield. Merrimack with some great pursuit right there.
Sarge leading the way there on that one. Another big play defensively
that
from
is
the Sarge.
Dylan Sagdowski right there coming through. Big play. Looking real strong.
Don't want to leave out Ryan Turley there, who was assisting
Absolutely
on that
not.
tackle. Really big play defensively from the defensive back and defensive lineman there. It's really interesting, Dave, in that the tide has kind of changed a little bit. We had 21 points in that first quarter. Clock moved pretty slow. But we're looking at a quarter here where the teams are – I could have spoken way too soon.
Another toss left right there. Big run right there to number 23, finding a lot of daylight. Merrimack having a bit of a hard time controlling the edge here as Salem has been able to pick up some of those huge chunk plays with those toss sweeps going out both right and left, having a lot of confidence in their tandem of running backs that they've been running through all night long here. Let's see if Merrimack can make the adjustment after that long run. First down here for Salem into the Merrimack territory. Another handoff right here. This, number 42, had not seen a carry tonight until now. Short gain. Merrimack is going to gobble that up in the middle.
Yeah, that outside run, Dave, has been there, and it is a tough run to stop because once you break that line of scrimmage and you find that hole, there's definitely some daylight there before you get, at that next level.
Salem coming back up to the line of scrimmage here. Number 8, Cody Clements. Only 1 pass attempt tonight. Looking to hand it off again right there. Number 15 is going to
They just
march
faked out.
his way into the end zone right there. That is going to be another Salem High touchdown on another outside run. That handoff to number 15, Aiden McDonald, the junior, for the Salem Blue Devils here. As Salem will go up 20-7 and bring out their special teams, their kicking unit, to attempt the point after.
I've got to give Coach Steve Abraham and this Salem Blue Devils team some credit. I mean, their fakes have been remarkable. I have been tricked on multiple plays tonight where I thought that ball was going right up the middle. So kudos there. It's going to be an adjustment here for Kip Jackson and his Merrimack squad. Let's see if they're up to the challenge.
And that kick is going to be good as Salem will pull ahead 21 to Merrimack 7. I want to take a moment here to give a shout out all the way from the one and only Buffalo, New York. Laura Green is watching her Tomahawks tonight, cheering on number 74, Connor. She may have beat Buxton, Maine here. So Tomahawks fans, if you're watching from afar, let us know. Let us know where you're watching from here. We've had shout outs from Buxton, Maine. We've had shout outs from Northwood, Massachusetts, and now all the way from lovely Buffalo, New York. So if you're out there and you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. Even if you're watching at home comfortably on your couch in Merrimack, let us know you're watching. Comment on Facebook. Tag us on Twitter as well. That's at Merrimack TV. And we will be happy to give you a shout out as we're always excited to hear from our fans. The fans of your Merrimack Tomahawks as Salem prepares here to kick off into the rain.
Dave, a little fun fact for you. My favorite thing about Buffalo is actually the creation of the Buffalo Wing, done so at the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York. So quite interesting to mention. I was just curious, do you have a preference on the type of wing?
I'm usually more of a drumstick guy, and I've been to that Anchor Bar in Buffalo as well. That is a lovely place. That is the home of the Buffalo Wing. Nothing like some big bowl plate of buffalo wings and some blue cheese before you head on over to Niagara Falls.
Not a thing better.
Agreed.
Last thing I'll say about that, I learned recently that I also like drumsticks, but what I refer to as wings are also known as flats, which is an interesting term that I'd never heard, but a friend of mine used it. I Googled it.
And it's legit?
Does Google lie?
Google does not lie. Apparently, flats are not only named for chicken wings and also short passes from the quarterback, as we are learning new things here as my broadcast colleague and partner in crime, Ralph Carpentier, informing you of how delicious buffalo wings are, as Merrimack with a huge run up the middle right there. That is going to be a handoff to number 23 as we get back to legitimate business here. The more important things that are at hand. That is Declan Covell, with a nice run right there. A rare run out of Merrimack, perhaps opting to take it to the ground here. Salem only with 3 down linemen, so the runs may be there. That play is going to be blown dead before the snap of the ball here. Again, if you're just tuning in, folks, we will not be showing you the score on the lower third of the screen nor the game clock. You will not see your normal complement of graphics. The reason for that is that we are using the Salem Community TV feed this evening. So we will give you the score of the game intermittently throughout the quarter. Presently, right now, it is Salem 21, Merrimack 7.
Second down, Tomahawks with the ball on their side of the field.
Make sure you check out Chatting with Janine. Janine Notter interviews politicians and special guests on issues facing New Hampshire. She has the governor on this weekend, which is amazing. It was his very first appearance in the Merrimack TV studio, so make sure you check out the Channel 22 schedule at merrimacktv.com for details on that broadcast, as another flag is going to be thrown here.
It's one of the best things about Merrimack TV. It's an award-winning station. It's your it's your voice. It's your chance to do a show about the things that you're interested in. And we've got to hear that about Bob and Janine today and the shows that they bring you. And why not give Nick and Justin a shout and see what you could bring to your community?
Absolutely. You know, the Town of Merrimack Media Division is branded as Merrimack TV. And Merrimack TV features 3 community television channels funded by way of franchise fees from Merrimack Comcast cable subscribers. Merrimack TV studio is located in Town Hall Complex at 6 Babusick Lake Road. The media division is managed by Media Services Coordinator Nicholas LaValle and Assistant Media Services Coordinator Justin Slez. Reaching over 8,000 homes, Merrimack TV covers every elected town and school board and features community-based content produced or submitted by residents. Would you like your own show? Email us, merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. You're watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.
Just to bring us back up to speed a little bit there, we had a Jacob Trahan run that got us a first down here for the Merrimack Tomahawks, leading to a Kyle Crampton scramble on a first down that is now going to lead us to a second down. And
Tell you what, the score doesn't really tell the tale of this game thus far, because while Salem is up by 2 touchdowns, 21-7, Merrimack has really done a fantastic job moving the ball thus far. A gang tackle right there by the Salem Blue Devils, bringing the ball carrier down. That is number 2, Shea Goodwin.
Salem really looking to punch that ball out there, looking to turn the ball over again. The ball is wet. That's a smart play there. You had your team stand them up for a short gain. So
just a little over 5 minutes here remaining in the second quarter. Merrimack,
still a first down.
Merrimack with the ball here at the Salem 42. Crampton making something happen with his legs, looking downfield, throws, nearly picked off right there by number 23, who's having himself a heck of a game. Already a couple of touchdowns for Salem High, almost coming away with an interception right there. Crampton might have got away with one. Still, though, aggressive looking downfield. You can't blame them. Those throws have been there all night.
Got to give the running back some credit, too, on that one. He took a shot putting a block in there. I believe that's Jacob Eunice there. Really ate a pretty big hit from the defensive player from Salem there, giving his quarterback enough time to roll out and make
Absolutely.
a throw.
It is a team game, and blocking counts. Doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, but without it, you don't win many games. Incomplete pass right there. Flag is being thrown. Maybe a pass interference call here.
It looked like Steven Petz, who had a reception earlier today, was turned around a little on that play. I would be curious to see what the call is here.
And that is, in fact, what we would get here is that flag will be pass interference called on the Salem Blue Devils, as Merrimack will march even closer to the Salem red zone.
Those are always those kinds of plays that can really turn the tide of the game. You have what looks like an incomplete pass, but when you look a little bit closer, you see that the defense impeded that play illegally, and it's going to allow Merrimack a chance at a first down here inside Salem territory and a chance to cut this lead back to 7.
Big possession right here, big drive. Crampton from the shotgun, surveying the defense. He's going to hand it off here. That's number 14. Taking it into the end zone. Touchdown, your Merrimack Tomahawks.
Jacob Bunis again.
Bunis coming through again here. Big score right there. The senior, number 14, having himself a game. Had a great game against Bishop Girton. He's continuing that momentum right into his second game of the season as Merrimack quickly strikes back here, answering the Salem High touchdown with a touchdown of their own as they pull back within, right now, 8, potentially soon to be 7 after this point after attempt.
Jake there slithering through the defense, almost like Jake the Snake Bunis, perhaps?
That is going to be, unfortunately, no good as that kick is going to go off the post right there. Tough break right there as Merrimack down 8. 21-13, Salem over Merrimack presently with 4:36 left here in the second quarter. As Merrimack will send out their kicking unit to kick the ball back to the return team of the Salem High Blue Devils. Good drive right there. Tough break on the point after attempt, but good to see Merrimack moving the ball really effectively. Great handoff right there to Bunis for the score. Merrimack opting to run the football a little bit more aggressively here versus taking to the air, perhaps making some adjustments as weather is definitely a factor in tonight's game.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that the Tomahawks ran the ball well against Bishop Girton out of that stretch, which allowed them to then throw the ball quite well at will pretty much in that game. So we'll see if that's a key factor moving forward as we close in on halftime.
A balanced offense, certainly a key element. No matter what level of football you're playing, Merrimack certainly demonstrating that tonight. They've got a touchdown through the air, a long touchdown pass. They have a touchdown on the ground as well as they look to kick off here to the Salem return team. Good deep kick right there that's going to be fielded. Not fielded.
Loose ball.
Misplayed that one right there. Number 15 picking that up, though, bringing that back up to what appears to be the Salem High. We'll call it the 14-yard line. We'll see where that spot is officially, as Salem will bring their offensive unit back out on first down.
Tough play there from Aiden McDonald there of Salem. He's got, I think, both touchdowns for the Blue Devils tonight, and that might be his first miscue of the game the way he's been playing. He's been getting outside, using his speed and quickness to make some big plays.
Can't blame him too much for that tonight, just given the conditions. Trying to catch a wet ball after it's been kicked, I'm sure that is no easy feat. As Salem takes over here on offense. Number 8, Cody Clements, under center. Handing off right here to number 23. He's going to bounce this outside. Another long gain right there. Salem with some great success running outside the tackles no matter which direction they have gone in.
Just want to send a quick shout out here, too, to Mitch. He's watching Tomahawk Ryan Turley. Ryan's got a lot of fans out there tonight.
Ryan's got a ton of fans out there tonight. That's got to be at least the second or third shout out.
Here's the crazy thing, though. He's watching from Westfield, New Jersey.
Westfield, New Jersey. We're going to have to get the Google Maps out and see if that's further away than Buffalo.
I was pretty good at geography, but I have no idea.
I think Buffalo might have it beat, but I'm not sure. We'll have to get some confirmation on that. Handoff right here to number 15. That is the aforementioned Aiden McDonald. Nice run right there.
We'll have some information on you about the distance between Merrimack, New Hampshire, and Westfield, New Jersey, and Buffalo, New York, coming from our assistant, Nick. He's on all the stats and figures this evening.
Nicholas taking out his atlas and looking at the legend to figure out just how far each location is from Merrimack. Buffalo has it beat, ladies and gentlemen. We have that confirmed as you see this score. Buffalo 200 miles further away than our location in New Jersey.
Buffalo, they gave us the buffalo wing. New Jersey, they gave us the boss. And kids, if you don't know who the boss is, it's Bruce Springsteen.
Deep pass right there. That pass is going to be complete to number 9. That's Ryan Allard, and he is going to walk home into the end zone right there with a stroll. Big touchdown pass. Little pitch and catch, nice and easy. Merrimack cheating up right there, I think expecting a run. Salem taking advantage with some really great play calling right there out of head coach Steve Abraham and his group.
Yeah, really, really tough break there. You've got a team that's been running the ball pretty effectively, so Merrimack smartly is cheating up to stop that run and gets hit over the top there. Very reminiscent of the 2009 wild card playoff game between the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens.
I remember that game.
Happened to be on my birthday, and boy, was that a tough watch. Joe Flacco threw 9 times in that game, and I think we've got less than 9 completions and pass attempts so far from Salem. So eerily familiar.
Really running the ball strong right there. I remember the first play from scrimmage in that game. I believe the Baltimore running back took one about 80 yards after Vince Wilfork got eaten up at the line of scrimmage by the Baltimore offensive line. So I can definitely see that. That was probably not the most exciting birthday, knowing what a passionate Patriots fan you are. But we're both passionate Merrimack Tomahawks fans tonight. And despite the score, ladies and gentlemen, I think the Merrimacks really moved the ball fantastically thus far. And this game is far, far, far from over.
If I've learned anything from watching sports, it's that games are never over until that countdown hits 0. We can all think back to that Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons.
#28-3.
Mitch in New Jersey is actually Michelle.
I want to give a quick shout out here. We have a correction. I said Mitch. It was Michelle. I apparently have trouble reading. My apologies, Michelle. Thank you for watching Ryan out there in New Jersey.
Turley the Beast, number 25. All right, Salem, kick it off here. Low line drive kick right there. Merrimack fielding that cleanly at their own 10-yard line, bringing that back. Can't tell quite who that is. Appears to be number 5. That is going to be Caden Dudash.
I'm not sure who gave Ryan the nickname The Beast, but we cannot take credit for that. We'll copyright that for Michelle. Also, let's give a shout-out to Maine here. I've got a couple more Mainers that are out there watching our Merrimack Tomahawks. I don't know what the connection is, if we have sister cities up there or what, but we've got Shea Goodwin's cousin Jonathan watching the game in Old Orchard Beach tonight.
OOB.
And then Jeff in Hollis, Maine, rooting for Jake Trahan and the Tomahawks.
Crampton going deep right here. He's got a man wide open. Couldn't quite pick that up. Good protection right there. Gave them enough time for that play to develop. Unfortunately, could not complete that pass, that long pass down the middle of the field to Shea Goodwin, as it'll be second down here for Merrimack. Good attempt at it anyways. You can't blame head coach Kip Jackson for taking a shot right there, especially with how effectively they ran the ball in the last drive.
Yeah, Goodwin was wide open, too. He looked like he had made some play there, and just a tough break on the pass. That's going to happen again in days with weather as a factor.
Crampton, quick pass right there, out to the sideline. That's going to be complete. To number 2, that again is Shea Goodwin. That knowing they were able to connect on. Shea Goodwin, the junior, plays both defensive back and wide receiver. I believe he had an interception against Bishop Girton a few weeks ago in the fourth quarter as well to ice that game. Crampton handing off. Salem read that all the way, getting into the backfield, making a nice stop right there. That handoff was to Jake Trahan, number 4. Couldn't tell quite who took him down in the backfield. That was a group effort, though, by the Salem High Blue Devils. With 2:42 left here in the second quarter as we march towards the 2-minute warning. Salem ahead 28-13 over your Merrimack Tomahawks. Still plenty of time left. Merrimack has looked real strong thus far through the year. They've been able to move the ball. They just haven't quite been able to convert once they've been in Salem High territory as they punt this ball away here. Low line drive kick.
Dave, I got some breaking news for you. We currently have Jennifer Jelinas Savakis watching the Tomahawks all the way from Bonita Springs, Florida.
Bonita Springs, Florida. That sounds like a fantastic place to spend the winter.
You can't beat anything that's called Pretty Springs.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us from Florida. This is so exciting tonight to see folks from all over the country that are tuning in to cheer on your Merrimack Tomahawks.
That'll be Dave.
Handoff right there, short game from Salem. Looks like Salem may have called a timeout here as you see the score. Couldn't quite tell there. A minute 55 left. Clock is stopped. Salem ahead 28-13. Second down and 10 here in the second quarter. Salem thus far really focused on running the football. Merrimack taking more of a balanced approach. They have a score both through the air and on the ground. Both teams definitely coming in very well prepared to this week. Merrimack 1-0, Salem 1-1 thus far on the NHI AA football season. Also want to give a shout out to what might be the youngest Tomahawks fan watching tonight, and that's 9-year-old Merrimack Cardinal player Alex Alcid, number 83. He's watching the big guys play tonight. And just so you all know, the Cardinals play this Sunday at Vets at 3:30. Thanks for watching, Alex. Got a couple shout-outs in tonight for the Merrimack Cardinals players. Gave a shout-out to Jackson Malone. Gave a shout-out to Blake Kerrigan. Good to hear about the youth of America playing football. I'm sure many of those players will be lining up on Friday nights themselves in just a few short years for the Merrimack High football team with a minute 38 here left in the second quarter.
Got a stoppage in play here. We see the Cardinals going over how they're going to counteract this onslaught so far offensively from this very tough Blue Devils team of Salem. We'll see what we get out of it. But I will say the coaching staff looks extremely poised. So do the players. I think that's the most important thing here. They know there is a lot of time left to make some changes and adjustments. They've got a full half to go, and they still got some time here, even on third down, to make some plays defensively here.
No question, there's still an eternity left in this game right here. And with the way that Merrimack can move the football quickly through the air, even being down 2 scores, they are still very well positioned to have a very, very strong second half. Salem again coming out with 2 running backs. Handoff to number 4. Pardon me, that's another handoff to number 23. Salem's run play option has really been fantastic. I don't know if Merrimack's going to catch him here, ladies and gentlemen, as he is going to take that across the field in a really long run and another big Salem score on the ground. That's going to be number 23 with the touchdown, as that is going to put Salem ahead 34-13 with just about a minute 18 left here in the first half. I'll tell you, those runs outside the tackles have been there for Salem all night long. You have to figure when Merrimack goes into halftime that Kip Jackson and his coaching staff will be making some adjustments to try to contain that ferocious rushing attack from the Salem High Blue Devils as they line up here for the extra point attempt. That kick, unfortunately, is going to be no good right there.
Looked like it might have been blocked.
Looked like they might have got a hand on that. Again, the field is wet tonight. And on a natural grass field, that is not an easy thing to achieve, just the right level of footing that you're looking for to do something like attempting a point after. It'd be interesting to see what Merrimack does here as they come out with a minute left.
Yeah, I feel, based on what we've seen in previous games, that Kip Jackson will look to try and get on the board here and get this game a little closer as we get to halftime.
You have to figure they're going to come out here pretty aggressively. All it takes is some good field position on a kick return, and it can really swing the balance of this game here.
Absolutely, or perhaps another legal procedure penalty for the kick out of bounds. We'll just have to see what happens here. And if I'm not mistaken, Dave, please correct me. The Blue Devils will receive the ball to start the game. Excuse me, to start the half. So it could be a very big touchdown or score of some kind here if Merrimack can get on the board and get some more points.
Absolutely. A score in the stop at the beginning of the second half is most certainly going to be on the forefront of head coach Kip Jackson's mind as Salem prepares to kick this ball away to the Merrimack return team.
And Steve Abraham there for the Blue Devils, I think, would be looking to...
A squib kick right there, fielded by number 4. I believe that is Jacob Trahan.
It is.
Jake Trahan taking that out.
Curious to see if Coach Abraham's looking for that double score, as they did defer earlier tonight with the kick.
The Bill Belichick special, as they call it. As Merrimack will take over here in downs. Kyle Crampton and company looking to perhaps put another score up on the board here before we break for halftime. Crampton looking downfield, plenty of time. Finds his man wide open. That's going to be number 2. I believe that is Shea Goodwin on the catch right there.
Just a quick update for those watching. There will be no band halftime show this week. However, as Merrimack is scheduled to host Alvern next week, we will bring you another amazing performance from the Merrimack High School Band next week.
The band will be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing like a high school marching band, especially a band as talented and fantastic as Merrimack High School's band happens to be. We will see them next week for the halftime show as Crampton coming out quick here. A couple of quick passes to Shea Goodwin, moving the ball effectively as they're on the Salem 40. Crampton taking the snap, looking downfield. Another near interception dropped by Salem. That is going to be number 5. That is Peter Beely letting that one go through his hands.
Big break there for the Tomahawks. They've pushed the ball on the other side here and are making headway with just about 40 seconds left to go in the game, down by 3 scores, looking to cut into that lead. Still able to do so with that dropped interception there.
Empty backfield right here for Crampton as he surveys the defense, looking to get aggressive. Another short pass right there.
Reminder, the score is 34-13 Salem as Merrimack is marching down the field looking to punch in one final score before the half. It's got 3rd and 2 as you see here on the screen. 27.6 seconds to go. And what has been a very high-scoring first half.
Merrimack here, still plenty of time, and there certainly have been some offensive fireworks. This game could easily be 34-28 right now. Merrimack just with a couple of tough breaks on some otherwise successful drives. As Crampton's going to look here to add another score up onto the board to draw a little bit closer to Salem before they go into the half here with 32 seconds left. Crampton firing. Quick pass right there. That's going to fall incomplete, unfortunately. That pass intended for number 9. I believe that is Stephen Petz.
Tough break there on that pass.
Again, 34-13 score right here. Salem picking up all of their points on the ground. Really doing a very effective job with those perimeter runs. Really taking advantage of the speed that they have in the backfield as Crampton surveys the defense, sends a man in motion, fakes the jet sweep, rolling out to his right. Looking down the field, firing to the end zone. Had a man right there, but unfortunately that's going to fall incomplete. Nice play on the ball there by number 9 from the Salem High Blue Devils. That pass intended for Stephen Petz. Pardon me, that was number 5 on the Salem Blue Devils. Pass still intended for Stephen Petz of the Merrimack Tomahawks.
Number 5, they're making up for the missed interception. They're able to tip that pass and break up what was a surefire touchdown there.
Absolutely. Big play right there by Salem. Perhaps saving themselves, giving up 6 points to the Merrimack Tomahawks.
3rd and 10 here. The shotgun.
Crampton looking down the field. Crampton's going to fire. High pass right there. It's going to be brought in. Nicely done by number 2. That is Shea Goodwin, who's had himself a great first half thus far. Merrimack going no huddle. We'll call that 9 seconds left here in the second quarter. Merrimack driving.
Got a clock correction there to 14 seconds. It is first down as well from about the 24-yard line.
Crampton has Trahan. Trahan trying to bounce that outside. Good stiff arm right there. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. Not much of a gain right there on first down.
I still like the play call there, Dave. You get a couple yards out of bounds. You don't leave yourself a lot of time, but this game is a game of inches, and that yard could be the difference between a touchdown on this play and perhaps going to the half down 34-13 as we stand right now.
This would certainly be a big momentum swing right here for Merrimack going to the half if they could put some more points up on the board, particularly if it's a touchdown as Crampton takes a snap, looks to his left, fires, throws up a jump ball right there. That, unfortunately, is going to fall incomplete. Again, taking the shot downfield right there. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first half here, ladies and gentlemen, as the Salem High Blue Devils have 34 points over the Tomahawks, your Tomahawks of Merrimack High's 13. Really an interesting first half here, Ralph. You saw Merrimack take to the air. You saw them really move the ball effectively. They had a turnover. They had a turnover on downs, a couple of tough breaks right there. And Salem has really just kept it simple. A meat and potatoes offense. They're handing the football off, and they are really getting some huge gains outside the tackle.
Absolutely, Dave. We're looking at a situation where I think from that turnover in the first quarter where Merrimack fumbled the ball on the handoff, they've really been a little uneven since then. They're certainly giving it their all out there, but the play has been a little uneven. I think we're going to see a team that's going to come out rejuvenated in the second half to really try to make this comeback.
Even down by the margin that they're down by right now, if you're Merrimack and you're going into the locker room at halftime, you have to have a good feeling that this is certainly far from being out of hand. Crampton's got a great arm. They are not afraid to throw the ball. He has a complement of great receivers like Shea Goodwin and Jake Trahan and Jacob Eunice. They got some really great players on both sides of the ball. And it would not surprise me at all if you see Merrimack come out roaring in the second half.
Absolutely. And if we have a feed into the locker room, which I don't know if we have that kind of technology, but I just want to give a quick shout out from Jessica Reith Brown saying, "Let's go, boys," from the freshman team and the cheerleaders watching at home. And a little special shout out to number 73, Charlie Chuck Corbett. But boys, if you can hear this, you've got the whole freshman team and the cheerleading squad. They've got your back. They know you can do this. Let's do it.
I want to take a moment to send a very heartfelt thank you to Bob Berthel from Salem TV for giving us the feed this evening so that we could broadcast this game to you and bring you the action, bring you some exciting Friday night lights, some Friday night football here, some high school action as your Merrimack Tomahawks are down to the Salem Blue Devils 34-13. But again, want to say thank you to Bob Berthel from Salem TV. Without him, we wouldn't be able to do this tonight, so a big thank you to him. Also want to take this time, too, just to say Merrimack TV is seeking volunteers to cover school district events, not limited to just sports. Whether you want to be a camera operator, do play-by-play like Ralph and I tonight, editing, or if you're interested in just seeing more school-based programming on the channels, Merrimack TV staff will train you and loan out equipment at no cost. That's a fantastic deal. Become involved. Email merrimacktv at merrimacknh.gov. Contact Justin or Nicholas. They'd love to have more volunteers, and we'd like to feature more school-related programming here on the channels. So again, folks, no halftime show tonight. Next week for the Merrimack home game, you will see the return of the unbelievably talented and fantastic
Tomahawk Marching Band.
Tomahawk Marching Band. They will be back, ladies and gentlemen. So they put on a fantastic show at the halftime of the Bishop Girton game a couple of weeks ago, and we're really excited to see them coming back onto the field next week during the halftime show for Merrimack High School's home game.
Yeah, Dave, I'm pretty excited. I'm a big music fan, so I'm always curious to see what these marching bands throw out there for us. A little Paul Simon, I believe was it You Can Call Me Al last week?
I think they played that last week. It's a classic.
So a Paul Simon medley last game against Bishop Girton. So I'm really curious to see what we get this week. Nick here at Merrimack TV is looking for some Phil Collins. Hopefully maybe we get a little in the air tonight. Who knows? Studio? I don't know. Either way, we're looking at, something creative and fun. And again, we talked about this last week. I consider marching band a sport. I can barely walk and talk. That's why I do this sitting down.
That's why we both do this sitting down. Let's be honest with ourselves.
And you've got people out there playing an instrument, which I also can't do.
Nope, can't do that either.
And then also walking in a choreographed fashion. That amazes me.
It is certainly something I can't do. I have no musical talent. I have no...
If it's not Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you are not getting much from me.
And the best I can really play on that is medium anyways. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, I'm kind of a medium myself.
Yep.
Oof.
Let's see if we got anyone looking for a shout out on the Facebook page.
Anyone out there looking for a shout out on Facebook, or Twitter, give us a holler. Let us give you some praise and props for tuning in tonight on Merrimack TV to watch your Merrimack Tomahawks take on the Salem Blue Devils in Salem, New Hampshire. This is great to have football back. It was 2 sad, lonely weeks. I did not leave my room. I just prepped, hoping I would get another Merrimack football game, and we've got that tonight.
Ask and you shall receive, Ralph. We are here tonight. And again, if you're watching this on Facebook, let us know in the comments, and we'll give you a shout-out during tonight's game. And if you're watching on Merrimack TV, Channel 21, follow us on Twitter at Merrimack TV, and tag us in a tweet. We'll give you a shout-out during tonight's game. So again, we love the interaction with those folks, our audience that's watching both locally and we'll call it all around the world. We've had... some folks tuning in from as far away as Buffalo, New York, from New Jersey, from Florida, cheering on some of their friends and their family that are playing for the Merrimack High School Tomahawks, which is really fantastic. So love seeing that.
We had a Tomahawk call the studio today.
We even had a Tomahawk call the studio today as well.
Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We had the Sarge himself, Dylan Sadowski, call in to see if we were covering this game, because with unfortunate circumstances, we know that friends and family cannot attend away games, and it's great that we're able to provide an outlet for family and friends to see these games. These kids work really, really hard and deserve to be, appreciated and cheered for, and we really appreciate the time that you spend watching them. I know they do, and Dylan made that very clear in his call earlier. He also told us we weren't half bad, so I'll take it.
Hey, not half bad. I'll definitely take that. That's like a C+, I think.
I believe you can pass with those, but it's been a while since I've been in school.
I think you can pass with a C+, Ralph. Looks like we have some more shout-outs that are rolling in here. Want to give a shout-out. Marianne says, good going, Shay.
Every day, Shay Goodwin over here.
Every day, Shay Goodwin. Just working hard out there. Had a really great first half, too.
Yeah, I think we called his name quite a bit, and it was called, I believe, a bit in that Bishop Gurdon game, but it was a lot of Trahan and a lot of Bunis last week. But we're seeing a lot of Shea this week, and I think it's why he's now got the Everyday Shea nickname that we have just coined today.
We have just coined it today. And also, don't want to forget Justin Fournier either, who had a really good first half in on a couple of big plays, had a couple of nice catches and some runs as well. What was really a well-balanced attack for the Tomahawks.
Little words of encouragement here from John Awad is not losing hope on these guys. They're a great team here in Merrimack, and they've got something to prove here in the second half, and I could not agree more. Again, Dave hashtagged that 28-3 earlier.
That's right.
We saw our New England Patriots do it just a few years ago. Who says Merrimack can't do it? We've got a full 24 minutes to go, and I don't think this game is over just yet.
I love it. John, don't stop believing. I love the faith out there. I'm feeling good going into the second half here. Salem's going to be, a very tough opponent, and Merrimack is going to have to figure out how they're going to slow down that running game. But I think if they can get that running game contained, I think you're going to see Merrimack be able to put up some big points here on the board as we roll into the second half here. Again, folks, you are watching the Salem TV feed. Want to give a thank you to Bob Berthel again for providing us that feed. We are actually coming to you live and in living color from the Merrimack TV studios, where myself and my broadcast partner, Ralph Carpentier, are bringing you the call in tonight's action.
Another quick shout out here to Jake Trahan's #1 fan, Hunter. Came from Barbara Trahan.
Shout out to Hunter and Barber, the whole family. Young Jake has had himself quite a game, had himself quite an opening game too against those Bishop Gurdon Cardinals.
Yeah, pretty exciting player to watch. Pretty dynamic, really fun. Glad to see that the family's watching, and we're happy that you get a chance to see Jake play tonight, even if it's not in person. Thanks again, Salem Community Television, for helping us out with that broadcast.
Absolutely. A big shout out to Bob Berthel again.
Bob Berthel just texted me. He was shorthanded tonight, so he has hands full earlier, but he's it's a one-man show over there tonight. So thanks, Bob.
Want to give an additional shout out too. We know Bob's working very hard back at the TV studio in Salem, and I think he's doing it all himself tonight, wearing all the hats and doing a fantastic job. So again, we want to say a very heartfelt thank you to Bob and to the Salem Community TV team. It's really tremendous that we're able to broadcast this tonight. And I gotta tell you, to all those that are tuning in at home, it's really an honor to be here at the Merrimack TV studio, being a part of this. I can't tell you how fantastic Media Services Coordinator Nicholas Avalli and the Assistant Media Services Coordinator Justin Slez are. They're really fantastic folks to work with, and it's really an honor and a pleasure to bring you tonight's action from the studio by way of Salem High School here. It's about 4 minutes left here in halftime. And again, I want to remind everyone as well, next week, we will have a halftime show. We will have the Merrimack High School Marching Band, the Tomahawk Marching Band, coming back onto the field to regale you with incredible music and performances during the halftime of next week's
Perhaps
game.
another suggestion, maybe some Journey. We talked a little bit about Don't Stop Believing earlier, and you almost dropped a Faithfully reference, which would have given us two great songs for a collaboration next week between the marching band. Yeah, we don't want to stop believing just yet.
I tell you what, if Merrimack comes back in this game, we might have to make the band play that next week, or at least put in a kind request,
Yes.
in honor of a fantastic effort.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we might have to get that hashtag 3413 trending. We can get that turnaround here. So let's go, Merrimack. We are with you tonight. And you have all the support of the Merrimack community and those that support you around the country, as you've heard from Florida, Maine, New York, New Jersey,
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
OOB, Old Orchard Beach as well, getting represented tonight. Folks that are tuning in at home, either watching the Merrimack TV feed on Facebook or tuning in at home on the channels.
As they say, you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with us.
And we appreciate
it. Well, we're counting down just to about 2 minutes left here in the halftime break here between the Salem Blue Devils and your Merrimack Tomahawks. I feel like a part of this Merrimack community these days that I want to say our Merrimack Tomahawks.
Absolutely.
Moving forward.
I want to just shout out Merrimack TV in general, too. The town of Merrimack's media division is branded as Merrimack TV. Merrimack TV features 3 community television channels funded by way of franchise fees from Merrimack Comcast cable subscribers. Merrimack TV studio is located at Town Hall Complex at 6 Babusick Lake Road. The media division is managed by Media Services Coordinator Nicholas LaValle and Assistant Media Services Coordinator Justin Slez. Reaching over 8,000 homes, Merrimack TV covers every elected town and school board and features community-based content produced or submitted by residents. Would you like your own show? Email us, merrimackTV@merrimacknh.gov. You're watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice. As we are moving through the halftime here, we're going to prepare for the start of the third quarter here in just a minute. Both teams have returned to the field, doing a light warm-up right there, as you see.
One thing I like to point out here, this Merrimack team, I don't see any body language that suggests that they think they're out of this game. I see a team that's ready to go. I see some pats on the back. I see guys ready to give it their all here in the second half, and that's the number one thing here. We know these kids have worked hard. These are young adults that have been putting in the work in school, have been dealing with some canceled games, some less time on the field, and
student athletes, the epitome of that. And I think that that's a really important thing to remember here. Student athletes, student coming first. You know, these are young men that are really doing great work in the classroom, and then also, you know, managing the academic demands along with the demands of a high school athletic career and doing a fantastic, phenomenal job balancing both. So really a great testament here to both schools, both coaching staffs, both sets of parents in this particular case, you know, all those folks at home. There's a lot of things that need to come together in order for, you know, these local athletics to occur. So to all those that volunteer, to all those that are parents of student athletes, to the teachers, to the coaches, to everyone else, we thank you for all of your
siblings,
efforts.
uncles, cousins, you know.
Absolutely.
There's a lot that goes into this. Dave's totally right. I mean, we have lots of time that goes into sporting events these days, and it does take a village.
Yes, it does. As you prepare here for the start of the third quarter, again, the score, the Blue Devils of Salem High School, 34. The Tomahawks, your Tomahawks of Merrimack High School, 13. So Merrimack's going to have some work to do here. Merrimack in their road white uniforms, Salem Blue Devils in their home blue as they prepare here to kick off.
One final halftime shout out here, all the way from Vermont. Adrian Vale Naylor cheering on Drew Vale, number 53. You've got this, boys.
Love hearing that enthusiasm as Salem is going to take that out to what would appear to be roughly their own 19 or 20-yard line. Sort of tough to tell from this angle as they will take over here on offense. Again, as we had mentioned before during the half, the Salem High running game has really been potent. That has been a formidable group. That offensive line doing a fantastic job at making lanes for their running backs to really just run into the end zone through. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments Merrimack is going to make here at the half. Another pitch going out left. That has worked well there, but Merrimack reads it well, gobbling up. That looks like it's the Sarge, the one and only Dylan Sadowski on that tackle.
Just one of the two Sadowski brothers, Sadowski and Sadowski, attorneys at law out there tonight. I will say, as you watch that play develop, you could see that the Merrimack defense was cheating up a bit at the corner spot and was definitely prepared for that run to go outside. And I think that's going to be key moving forward is being prepared for the outside run and then having the inside hold up strong, just like it did there.
Good gang tackling effort right there out of Merrimack. To your point, Ralph, I think that the Salem is going to have some opportunities in the air as Merrimack makes adjustments to the power running game that Salem has displayed thus far. The question is going to be, is Salem going to be willing to take those chances down the field? And we're going to find out here. I would imagine that right now, given the score of the game and where we're at, that they're going to keep sticking to what brought them to the dance and what put those 34 points up on the board in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see if Salem decides that they're going to switch up their offensive strategy at all, particularly as they take a look to see what the Merrimack defense gives them.
Absolutely, Dave. I think that really comes down to not only will Salem commit to the pass if it's there, but what does that look like? We haven't seen a lot of passes. We did see an amazing touchdown pass tonight from Salem, but is that something that we can see consistently from them moving forward? It'll be tough to tell.
It will definitely be interesting to see here as well. Weather has been a factor tonight. We'll see if that continues on here into the third and fourth quarter in the second half of this game.
This will be a big third down here, too, for both teams, actually, as the Tomahawks look to get the ball back quickly and really...
Could be a momentum swinging down right here.
Could.
Third and 7. Third and 7's a long way. Salem has been picking up huge chunks of yardage running on the perimeter. They haven't really opted to throw the football very much. Traditionally, this would be a throwing down, but given how well Salem's been able to run the football, I would not be surprised to see them go back to that toss sweep again. Let's see if Merrimack's prepared for it, or if Salem surprises us here as Cody Clements is under center. That's number 8. Number 15 in motion. Confusing everybody, even the cameraman, except the Merrimack defense, as Merrimack coming up big right there with forcing Salem on a 3-and-out. Nicely done.
Yeah, first time we've really seen the keeper there on the handoff up the middle versus the pitch on that fake. And
Looked like that ball was going to go to Aiden McDonald right there.
Yeah,
He's had a great game for Salem thus far.
Merrimack was not fooled on the play. Another quick shout-out here to Ryan Bubba Turley, number 25.
Bubba
Sending
Turley.
love from Mom, Dad, and Aubrey. Let's go.
Love
Let's
it.
go.
Let's go.
Bubba.
Little over 10 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Again, if you're just tuning in at home, score is Salem 34, Merrimack 13. We'll be giving you that score iteratively throughout the rest of the game here. Crampton with a handoff up the middle. That's Bunis. Gonna have a nice gain right here.
This might be my favorite shout-out of the night. We've got Merrimack teacher Caroline Masterson excited to cheer on her boys from Merrimack against her alma mater, Salem.
Her alma mater,
Wow.
Salem High.
Cheering against her old home tonight. Merrimack, be proud to have Miss Masterson as one of your teachers.
A fantastic educator. We appreciate her chiming in here as Crampton throwing out to the flat right there. That's not going to go for much as the Salem High defense is all over that.
Our old TV studio is just down the hall from Caroline Masterson's classroom.
Little tidbit of information that Nick just shared with us. Caroline Masterson's classroom is just located down the hall from the old Merrimack TV studio.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump, as they say. Crampton from the shotgun takes the snap cleanly, looking to his left. Some pressure up the middle. He's going to launch one. Let's see if they can win the jump ball. Going for the catch. No. Unfortunately, could not come up with that.
I thought
right
I saw
there.
a flag out
Was
there.
there a flag that came down on that play? It would make sense given that number 5's back was turned when that ball was in the air, so that could be a very easy pass interference call. See what the referees say here.
One of the big benefits of throwing the ball is you do always have that as a possibility. So when a play does not work out exactly as intended, it is sometimes, again, due to the impediment caused by the defense.
That's going to be a defensive holding call right there. First down, Merrimack. Merrimack taking advantage of that penalty right there. They're going to move the ball forward. Take it how you can get it at this point in time. Merrimack, still plenty of time left in the game here. They could theoretically drive down the field and not score and still have an opportunity to come back. But you have to figure if they can go and score a touchdown here, it's going to change the entire complexion of this game, particularly the way that they played on defense coming out in the second half. As that handoff's going to go to Bunis, but he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage by the Salem defense, right into the teeth of that defense. Number 42 in on that stop. Number 52 with the assist on that tackle.
That's all I type is Cranky and Grumpy in the next shout out.
We've got another shout out here from Maine. Maine is in the house tonight. And that is great to hear because Maine is one of the favorite states of both Dave and myself, as well as the town's media coordinator, Nicholas LaValle. Big fans of Maine. Quick shout out to Elaine in Wayne, who's giving Connor, number 74 for Merrimack, a big shout out from Granky and Grumpy.
Granky and Grumpy. I like that. Pass there was intended for Trahan. Crampton really tried to fire that one in there in some tight coverage. Almost came away with it. Looking down the field, throwing deep. This worked before. Nice grab right there. That's number 4, the one and only, the senior, Jake Trahan, showing some leadership out there and a real soft set of hands as he reels that pass in for a huge chunk of yardage into Merrimack first down.
Drop that in nicely. It looked like Brady de La Fell against the Baltimore Ravens in the 2014 AFC divisional round game at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Ladies and gentlemen, you do not need YouTube. All you have to do is ask Ralph about any Patriots season, and he will describe every play that happened for you. As the Salem High Blue Devils are ahead 34-13 over the Merrimack Tomahawks right here with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Couldn't agree with you more, though, because I could probably definitely do the same thing. There's a very nice touch pass right there from Crampton. He's had some great touch down the sideline here. As Merrimack, once again, moving the ball here as they're marching deep into Merrimack territory. That ball's going to be tipped to the line of scrimmage. Nice play by number 52, getting his hands up. Couldn't get to Crampton, but was able to get up in the air and disrupt that throw. Nicely done right there.
There's Noah Poole in there for Salem, who's had a pretty good game for himself. He's looked to be around the ball on most plays tonight. He's big, he's fast, and he's definitely been causing a little bit of a problem out there, and Merrimack is doing all they can to deal with him tonight.
Causing some chaos out there. Crampton feeling some pressure, trying to get loose here. Throws one up in a triple coverage. Let's see if he come away with it. He cannot. Unfortunately, Shea Goodwin just could not make a play on that ball. Really tight coverage right there from Salem.
Just as I shout out Noah Poole in there, the Sarge took him to task there at left tackle, giving Kyle Crampton a chance to make that throw and step up in the pocket. Let's see what the decision is here as they are going to go for it on fourth down. With where the ball is, makes sense. Even if it's a little long here, it'll act like a punt if they don't complete it. But
Crampton rolling to his left. Looking out, let's see if he can find an open man. Unfortunately, he's just going to have to throw that one away as Merrimack will turn that one over on downs. That's a tough break right there. That was a really promising drive that really got started after the defensive holding call. Long pass down the sideline to Jake Trahan. But unfortunately, they just really weren't able to get into the Salem red zone and score any points right there. It's a tough break.
Tough break, but as I said earlier, Dave, it's one of those situations where going for it on fourth down makes sense. It's not a desperation play there. It's a well-calculated decision to take a shot, because if you don't get the first down, again, it's very similar to a punt. Trying to coffin corner that, as they call it, from that position could lead to field position very similar to what they have right now anyway. So I am all for that decision from Coach Kip Jackson there.
Functions just like a punt, as you said right there.
The ball is loose.
Loose ball right there. Let's see if Merrimack can come up with it.
The ball is loose. The officials are seemingly huddling. Are they calling it down?
Officials looking like they're going to be calling this down. Likely saying that the player was down before the ball.
That ball
stripped
looked out.
loose.
I do not have a replay capabilities or a Surface tablet to review that on, but a tough break for Merrimack there. Let's hope that they keep their heads up and push hard back.
Very tough break right there. Merrimack looking to do some ball hawking, trying to generate a turnover to make something happen here. They were stout on Salem's first series of the second half, and once again they are stout as they are gobbling up that toss sweep right there to number 42. Really good pursuit right there by the linebacking core of Merrimack High, getting into the backfield.
Coach, sorry to cut you off there, Dave. Coach Jackson and his assistants have really put a game plan together here in the second half that is saying, you will not run the ball on us tonight.
Absolutely.
Anymore. And they're daring Salem to throw the football, and Salem is not acquiescing at the moment. They refuse to throw the ball. They're looking to run that clock, and we'll see if that comes back to bite them.
And I think to your point, I think Salem is very content right now to chew clock. Just as I say that, they're rolling out for a pass. Cody Clements looking deep downfield, throwing a bomb that looks like it was incomplete. Out of bounds right there. Six minutes left here in the third quarter. Salem High Blue Devils 34, the Merrimack Tomahawks 13. It's 4th and 11 right here. Merrimack's defense looking strong here in the first two Salem series of the second half. As Salem will likely bring their punting unit out here.
Really impressive to see too, Dave. Typically a team that runs the ball well wears a team out in the second half. And you're seeing this Merrimack team with absolutely zero quit in them. 100% heart. Looking to stop that run. Excellent job, boys.
Punts away cleanly right here. That's going to dribble down to about the Merrimack 37. Return back up here.
I see a flag there. Looks like a horse collar tackle
Might
there.
be a horse collar tackle right there. Merrimack might be having some additional yardage added onto their field position, which will come as a welcome sign of relief as they desperately need to start moving the ball.
Looks like another flag came in there late.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the call is here. Again, Merrimack will take every yard that they can get their hands on as they are desperate to score some points. As the time ticks by here in the third quarter, down 34 to 13. Both teams have missed extra points tonight due to the weather. Both teams taking a different approach to tonight's game. Merrimack looking to throw the football down the field. Salem looking to go old school with what you'd call 3 yards in a cloud of dust, only it's more like 13 yards in a cloud of dust tonight. They've been very effective on the ground thus far.
Yeah, they are quick, they are fast, and they are tough.
So we got a block in the back going against Merrimack.
And unsportsmanlike conduct on Merrimack as well.
We have 2 penalties against Merrimack. That is really going to be a tough break right there. That's gonna make that long march towards the Salem red zone and the end zone that much more difficult to work their way through here. But if there's a quarterback in a team that's equipped to do it, it has to be the Merrimack Tomahawks.
It'll just make the comeback and the story that much sweeter. Am I right?
You were definitely right. I'm going to take this opportunity quickly to shout out one of my favorite TV shows on Merrimack TV. That's Let Freedom Ring. Merrimack's own Dan Bolio hosts a variety of guests. Dan chats about entertainment, sports, and more. Dan has it all. This week's guest is Leo Connor, the host of Nashua TV's The Ring and all other sports. Check the Channel 22 schedule at merrimmacktv.com for the listings of that broadcast. And a shout out to Dan Bolio, who I'm sure is watching this at home as well. Dan, I promise I will come on as a guest soon. We will make that happen. I had to cancel on him recently.
Would you cancel on Outdoors with Bob? Cancel on Bob too?
Merrimack taking over here with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter. Crampton with 2 running backs beside him in the shotgun. He's going to opt the handoff right here. Looking to go right up the middle. Tough sledding, not much daylight to be found. So the ball carrier will be tackled at roughly the Merrimack line of scrimmage right there.
You might have furthest people watching furthest away here.
I want to continue to remind everybody, too, if you're watching this on Facebook, let us know in the comments, and we'll give you a shout-out during tonight's game. And also, if you're watching on Merrimack TV Channel 21, follow us on Twitter And tag us in a tweet, and we'll give you a shout-out during tonight's game as well. We've already heard from a lot of fans, a lot of friends, family, very passionate people. It's great to see so much passion across Tomahawk Nation tonight.
Absolutely. Just a quick reminder, the score is Salem 34, Merrimack 13, with plenty of time here to go in the third quarter.
Deep pass right there by Crampton. That's going to be picked off by Salem. That's going to be picked off by number 9. That is going to be Ryan Allard, it looks like. Ball got bobbled right there. Crampton really trying to go for it. Unfortunately, just a tough break right there. Salem perhaps getting one back after dropping a couple of interceptions that were right in the hands of defensive backs during the first half, and finally converting right here in a turnover. This will be Merrimack's second of the game.
Occasionally, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, Dave.
Tough break right there. Can't blame Crampton for trying to take a shot down the field, down 34-13. We'll see what Salem does right here. They've had very few pass attempts tonight, and each pass attempt has been a deep ball. Running that triple option right there. The handoff is going to be to number 23, who's had himself a great game thus far. Rare run up the middle. Usually you see him taking advantage going outside the tackles, but not on that handoff right there. Trying to give the Merrimack defense perhaps something different to think about. Although I got to tell you, I don't know if I want to run into the teeth of that Merrimack defense. Some great defensive line play.
Absolutely. And speaking of defensive line play, we've got a shout out here to John Tierney, who perhaps is watching from furthest away. Again, we're going to have to get out our maps and map it out. Before we were furthest away was Florida. We now have Grand Rapids, Michigan for John, who wants to wish Owen and Dylan Sadowski good luck from Grammy and Grampy.
Grammy and Grampy giving the sergeant and the lieutenant a shout out tonight. The Sadowski brothers. Fantastic. Great to hear about them tuning in all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Never been out there, but I heard it's a lovely place. Really exciting to see people. We've had Michigan, Florida, New Jersey, Maine, Buffalo, New York. Really well represented here. It's great to see the passion for Tomahawk football all across these fine United States.
Yeah, Dave, I really just love to see these families coming together and getting a chance to watch their relatives and these young men play, you know, across the country. And it really just gives them an opportunity to demonstrate, you know, all their hard work that they've put together. And in some cases, they may not have seen these relatives for a little bit with how things are currently in the world.
You know, and I think, too, on top of that, you have folks that are, you know, we all have friends and family that are spread all throughout the country. So through the magic of the internet, we're able to all connect and watch this. Or, you know, perhaps if you're at home on your couch watching this on the Merrimack TV channels, good for you. Glad you're tuning in tonight. Salem quarterback Cody Clement's going to take it here after the double fake. Their read option game has been very, very strong tonight. That is well coached. There have been a number of plays where we've both been confused on who the ball carrier was.
I thought that went to the fullback again.
I did too.
I don't know how Tony Romo makes this look this easy.
I don't either.
Bonita Springs, Florida is furthest away, so let's see when that was.
Bonita Springs, Florida, still the furthest away.
Jennifer Jelinas Savakis.
Bonita Springs, Florida, still our furthest viewer tonight. Grand Rapids, you're close.
Almost 1,500 miles away.
Handoff right there to number 21. Being brought down in the open field by his counterpart there. That was Ryder Morse.
I
Nice
will
tackle.
say Merrimack is a sure tackling team. Like, although they've given up some big plays and chunks, a lot of that comes from the speed and quickness of Salem. But the pursuit is there, and the tackle form is tremendous.
Dude, someone, a Sadowski fan is saying "Go Sarge," so maybe that nickname is caught on.
We're seeing some Go Sarge comments in the chat. We're glad to see that is catching on.
Susan Morgan.
Merrimack with a nice stop right there. Salem comfortably ahead right here, driving into Merrimack territory off the heels of a Merrimack turnover. Bobbled pass that was tipped up and intercepted by Salem High. Handoff right here, number 23. Good cutback right there. Good run. Looking like he's going to easily pick up a first down right there. Almost looked like a little bit of the Mike Shanahan zone blocking scheme that you used to see the Denver Broncos teams run back in the late 90s.
Absolutely. I'll say this, though. Those Denver Bronco teams, anyone could run behind that line, and Salem's line looks really good, but the shiftiness there, number 23, is pretty incredible, and not to mention his field vision. Seeing those holes each time and making that extra move at the next level.
And explosive speed as well. Once he's been able to bounce outside of the corner, it has been no catching him after that. It's going to be another handoff right there to the fullback. Picking up some hard-earned yardage right there. Bringing his lunch pail and his hard hat to work right there. It's a blue-collar handoff as
34-13 as we tick down to the final seconds here of the third quarter.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us, we have the Salem Community TV broadcast of tonight's game. But you are, in fact, hearing the Merrimack High School call of that game. I'm Dave Carter, joined by my broadcast partner, Ralph Carpentier. So if you're wondering where some of the traditional graphics you would see during a Merrimack High football telecast, you will not see those tonight because we are using Salem's feed. However, next week, when we bring you the action from home, from Merrimack High, as they'll be having a home game, you will see the normal complement of amazing graphics, the clock, the score, all that good stuff that you're used to seeing, which will be provided to you by the incredible crew here at Merrimack TV. But tonight we'll be announcing the score for you all intermittently throughout the game as we move in to our final quarter of action here. Merrimack's got their work cut out for him in 12 minutes, especially knowing how strong that Salem run game has been.
Yeah, it is a tough task, but let's see if they are up to it. Again, the thing I like to see when I look at that Merrimack sideline is a coach that looks like he has the trust of his players and the faith of his players. There's no yelling. There's motivation. This looks like a team and a coach that wants to get the best out of each other.
Well, it's very clearly a team that's well coached, and we saw that against Bishop Girton a couple of weeks ago with just the crispness to the game plan that head coach Kip Jackson had and the work that Merrimack was able to do. And tonight, a couple breaks go a different way here, and this game may be a bit closer than it is right now. I think Merrimack has been a bit snake-bitten here in the turnover game. They've had a couple of fourth down attempts that were nearly converted where they just missed some passes. So it's been – Lady Luck has not been on the side of Merrimack High School tonight. However, that doesn't take anything away from how incredible this team is and how incredible head coach Kip Jackson is. To your point, you can tell that he certainly commands the respect of his players, and they really look up to him and have faith in his vision and the direction that he wants to take the team here. As Salem is going to tack up another rushing touchdown here tonight. That handoff there to number 4. That's going to be Jacob Brady. As Salem putting up 40 points on the board here. Merrimack's really going to have their work cut out from as Salem will send out their kicking team to attempt this point after.
This is a relentless rush offense here from Salem. And
nearly getting a hold of that right there. Coming off the edge there, that was number 4. That's Jake Trahan. What a shock. See him in all 3 phases of the game.
Jake the Snake, snaking through that line, my friends.
Been really productive on offense as well.
They may have a mountain to climb, but he is not giving up no matter the play, offense, defense, or special teams.
Well, we said it earlier in the game, Ralph. Hashtag 28-3. Now, we know that everybody from this region knows exactly what that means, and we're referring to the Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl. Let's see if Kyle Crampton and his offense have some tricks and some magic up their sleeves as well.
Just need a couple bounces to go their way, a couple tips, loose balls on defense. Maybe a big play here to start this drive.
Quick score and a stop here will really put Merrimack in within striking distance and give them an opportunity to maybe claw back into this. But they're going to need some things to go right for them, and they're definitely going to need to score a touchdown coming up here on this drive. Salem preparing to kick it deep here. And the kick is away and deep. That's going to be fielded at the Merrimack 10.
This could be the play we're looking for. Oh, big stop there. 23 has been all over the field tonight, offensively and defensively.
It has been number 5, Caden Dudash, taking that ball out. Looked like he might break one there for a minute. Had a lot of good momentum coming out of that return.
Great field position, though.
Fantastic field position right here for Merrimack. This is a good start. Kyle Crampton is going to lead his squad out here on first down.
It's one drive at a time, they say. One drive at a time. Or as they say in baseball, a bloop and a blast.
Well, let's see if we can get a seeing eye single right here. Crampton's going to keep it. Taking off on his feet. Nice run right there. As he's going to go down.
Not afraid to take a little punishment there, too. Doesn't slide. Gets that extra yardage.
Going for the extra yardage right there. It looks like at about the Salem, we'll call it the 42-yard line.
Nice first down run to get another first down.
Pass right there to Trahan, trying to break it out wide. Nice stiff arm, and he's going to be tackled close to being out of bounds
Shades
here.
of Derrick Henry there.
Going into beast mode. I'm more of a Marshawn Lynch guy than Derrick Henry.
Well,
I like Skittles.
I do too. It's one of those things where definitely a little beast mode there, but if you saw Derrick Henry's stiff arm this week, whew.
He is a tough tackle, that is for sure. Crampton pass here to number 8. That's Justin Fournier. That pass is going to be complete. This drive looks good. Putting together a couple plays right here early on. Looking to strike quickly.
Strong drive. I don't think you're seeing Salem sit back either in like a prevent here. They're not giving them a soft zone, but Merrimack's making it look pretty easy right now as they're moving the ball down the field. Some shots out to the sidelines.
Everyday Shea Goodwin right there, picking up that pass, getting out to the sidelines. Those throw to the sidelines have been there all day for Kyle Crampton. The only thing working against them right now is the clock and the scoreboard. If they can keep moving the ball here and picking up good positive chunks of yardage, they're going to be heading in the right direction. That pass right there is going to be complete to Trahan. He's going to be tackled out of bounds by number 9. That is Ryan Allard, who has also had himself a great game.
Trahan reminds me a little bit of Julian Edelman there in the slot. You know, those crossing routes, does a little bit of everything.
Super soft hands as well.
Makes plays on special teams as well.
Yep, made some great moves out in space, both against Bishop Girton and tonight as well, which is great to see.
Merrimack looking like they think this is on the defense for encroachment, and it is.
Merrimack's going to pick up 5 additional yards right here.
Big drive here. Dave, this is Merrimack's chance really to tell Salem they are not going away. They will not go quietly into the night.
A touchdown here certainly starts to change the complexion of this game, despite the fact that Salem is so comfortably ahead. As the handoff right there is going to go to Bunis, number 14. Good power run. He's going to pick up what would appear to be 4 yards on that handoff from Crampton. Under 10 minutes left here in a 41-13 game. Don't let that score fool you. This game has been much closer than what the scoreboard would indicate. Merrimack has had several sustained drives. They have just not had luck on their side tonight. A couple of unfortunate turnovers in some key moments. A couple of missed 4th down conversions. Crampton trying to shake loose right here. Looking like Lamar Jackson on that move. Finding the open man right
what
there.
A play. We're gonna
that pass is going to be complete to Bunis. Bunis finding his way open. His running back.
It's a little Russell Wilson there.
Looking fantastic right there. I got to tell you, that is a testament not only to Kyle Crampton's skill, but also to the coaching that he has received. Keeping his eyes downfield, moving around, running around, avoiding the rush right there, buying some more time.
I'd also like to say, too, let's give it up to the big guys up front there on that play for Crampton. they were able to maintain protection. So while he was scrambling there, you had some blocks on the backside there that helped keep him alive. And then he made that great move to escape the tackle and get that throw off to Bunis.
Absolutely. Good team effort right there. No one giving up on their block or giving up on the play as well, which enabled Crampton to shake free, continuing looking downfield and throwing that strike. As Bunis is going to be walking off the field here. Hopefully he is okay. Let's see what head coach Kip Jackson will dial up here.
Second down.
On second down. This has been a part of the field where Merrimack's had the greatest trouble. Inside the red zone.
They've had trouble getting into the red zone. They've been on that area just outside a few times, and it's just not clicked.
They're going to bring up the chains here for the measurement. Looks like it's going to be just short.
Oh,
no,
we
he's
got
gonna
that
get
first down.
For those of you taking high school physics, that's called a parallax. When you look at something at an angle and it distorts its size, shape, and distance. So that was...
I wasn't that good in science.
What appeared to be a first down there is Kyle Crampton in the shotgun, running back to his left, taking the snap. Blitz coming. He gets rid of it, throws it away. That may have been considered a live football here. Salem dialing up the blitz at just the right time. And Salem will take over on downs right there. The fumble, an unfortunate turnover right there at a critical time when Merrimack was driving. That is heartbreaking with 8 minutes left here. 2 golden opportunities for the Merrimack Tomahawks, and unfortunately, both of those opportunities have ended in turnovers here. As Salem looks to take over, I imagine they are going to continue to pound the football. Handoff again here to number 23. Flags are flying.
Apologies for my silence. I was just a little perplexed by the call there. It did look like he was retreating backwards when throwing, but it looked like it had gone forward.
Could have been the camera angle right there, too.
Yeah, there's that parallax effect. This is why I did not finish physics. Kids stay in school, take physics, learn about science.
Science and STEM are very important.
My colleague Dave here is a STEM enthusiast, a hardworking play-by-play announcer for the Vex Robotics across the state and country. So it's a professional here to my right, and he is sitting with a novice to his left at best.
Well, Ralph, I appreciate that. As a handoff here, it goes to number 21. Good long run right here from Salem. Trying to shake free right there, getting into the third level easily. You have to figure that the Merrimack defense at this point in time's probably getting pretty tired here.
I'm tired just looking at it right now. And back to my point before, Dave may have some experience here at the announcing side of things, and I may be newer to the game, but that's the kind of the perfect mix of Merrimack TV for you. You have people with experience doing shows. You have people without experience. This is, again, your community. This is your voice. This is your opportunity to volunteer and support the boys of Merrimack and the girls of Merrimack for sports and other activities that are out there, or maybe come up with your own show idea like Bob or any of our wonderful, wonderful contributors.
Or maybe the Merrimack Lions Club. They actually, Ralph, did you know that they recently started a show of their own? You can learn more about what the Lions Club has to offer and get to know their members. The Lions Club's about leading by example, building relationships, and improving the world through kindness. Learn more on their show. Check the Channel 22 schedule at merrimacktv.com. Want your own show? You can have one. Email Justin or Nicholas at merrimacktv@merrimacknh.gov.
I was hoping you're going to ad-lib a lion roar. We got most of
Got another shout out here real quick to Caden Dudash. Dudash has gotten a few out there today as well. Mom and Dad are proud of you. They're sending their love. And quite frankly, I think all the parents and family members out there have much to be proud of. This is a hardworking group that had 2 weeks off from game activity.
2 weeks off from game activity, but, aside from some of the turnovers and some of the other unfortunate breaks that they've had this game, I do think Merrimack has looked sharp, and I think that there's some things that head coach Kip Jackson will be able to pull from this game as they go back and think about how they performed and apply that going into their game plan for next week. They have been able to move the ball through the air. Crampton's look good running the ball as well. They've been able to really put some pressure on the Salem defense, but the Salem defense from the 30 inside of that, they have been really, really tough here. As a handoff here to number 11, another big run as they're going to near the goal line.
Both teams still fighting hard here.
Great to see that. Great sportsmanship displayed by both teams. Great competitive spirit displayed by both teams. In a game that I think has been much closer than what the scoreboard actually reflects here. Another handoff right there to number 10. Merrimack's going to gobble that up.
Did you see a late flag come out there? As we are reminded, the score is 41-13. Your Merrimack Tomahawks trailing the Salem Blue Devils.
And that was the Sarge, Dylan Sadowski, on that tackle. See what the flag is for here. Again, another big shout out to Salem TV and Bob Berthel. Without Bob, we would not be able to bring this Bobcast to you tonight. We're going to call it a Bobcast. Tonight is a Bobcast and a broadcast.
It is a one-man show over there in Salem tonight. So
one-man show, it's the Bobcast. And it's also a one-man show here tonight in the Merrimack TV studio with the one and only Nicholas LaValle, who is helping us quarterback to production. A big shout-out and thank you to Nicholas for having us here. A big shout-out to his partner in crime, the one and only Justin Slez, who is on vacation, hopefully relaxing, a much-needed vacation. Salem looking to hand off here again. That one tackled for a loss by the Merrimack defense. I tell you what, despite the score tonight, Ralph, this has been a tremendous amount of fun. It's really been great hearing from so many of the Tomahawk fans, so many of the players, friends, and family that have been chiming in on Facebook. And
that might be my favorite part of
putting
the night,
in shout-outs. Absolutely. It's been one of the favorite parts of this night for me as well. We're learning about geography.
Science, physics,
Science, physics. Florida's still our furthest, our viewer than longest distance away from Merrimack tonight. Grand Rapids, Michigan got a shout-out. Old Orchard Beach, Maine. Ralph's going to give you a couple more shout-outs here. As we're running to the 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Salem looking to perhaps add another score onto what has been a very one-sided game, at least in terms of the score. As I mentioned, I think Merrimack has played this far more competitively than what the scoreboard would indicate.
I'd love to say, too, that this team is not giving up. Like you were seeing that they are looking to keep Salem out of the end zone here. And while saying that, I'd also like to shout out Bob Chamberlain for posting his Merrimack TV show ideas tonight in our Facebook page. Really great to hear that. The more ideas, the better. And Kristen Jackson, thank you for your positive comments as well.
Camden Wheeler on that stop right there, getting into the backfield.
It's just really great to hear from so many people in the Merrimack community and the Merrimack community's relatives, both near and far. Thank you for the support.
Absolutely. I want to mention, too, not only are Ralph and I very appreciative to be here tonight calling the action on tonight's game between two fantastic teams, but we're also here as volunteers. And Merrimack TV is always seeking volunteers to cover school district events. It's not just limited to sports like you're seeing tonight. Looking for camera operators, people who do play-by-play like Ralph and I are doing, editing. And if you're interested in seeing more school-based program on the channels, Merrimack TV staff will train you, and they'll also loan out equipment to you at no cost. So become involved. Email merrimacktv@merrimacknh.gov. You can contact Justin or Nicholas. They'd love to have more volunteers, and we like to feature more school-related programming. Also want to shout out one of our key volunteers, Jenna Hardy, Merrimack TV volunteer. She's been recording the varsity soccer games as well. Make sure that those get up on the channel. So thank you, Jenna, for all that hard work.
Yes, thank you. As a reminder here, with just 3 minutes and 29 seconds to go, the score is 41-13 Salem over your Merrimack Tomahawks. But strong stand from the Tomahawks there. Was able to keep Salem out of the end zone, and they will take the field here with a chance to at least close this gap just a little bit.
Crampton with the handoff right there up the middle. It was Bunis for a nice game.
Second down.
Don't forget, too, folks, next week for the halftime show, you will see the triumphant return of the Merrimack High School Marching Band. That one's going to be picked off right there by Salem. Number 33 is going to look to take that one back to the house for another touchdown. Salem really just pouring it on at this point. That's cornerback Jonas Dorsett, junior for the Blue Devils. Very nice play right there.
Tough break there for the Tomahawks.
Tough break right there. That one's just about going to put this game here on ice for Salem as they will bring out their kicking team here. Tough break for Merrimack. They've been taking their shots all night, and sometimes when you gamble, it doesn't pay off. And unfortunately, Crampton had a few gambles this evening that have not paid off, and it have resulted in turnovers.
You'll see those situations, though, Dave, where gambles are a little bit more necessary when the team is struggling to kind of finish drives. Starts to drives were pretty strong throughout the game, but it's one of those times where it didn't quite go Merrimack's way tonight. But I still think we've got a strong football team here that, you know, has a chance to put another W in the column next week against Alvern.
No question. It's likely that Merrimack will go to 1-1. Salem will go to 2-1. As I look at this game in its totality, I would say that the Merrimack coaching staff and their players should be exceptionally proud of the way that they've performed tonight in tough conditions on the road with the 2-week layoff.
Compete level was definitely a 10 out there.
The compete level was definitely a 10 out there. I don't think the score at all reflects how hard Merrimack actually played in this game. It was looking promising there for a little bit at the beginning of the second half. Merrimack had 2 key stops. Really was able to shut the Salem running game down, but unfortunately Merrimack just couldn't quite put the pieces together once they reached the Salem 30.
As you mentioned earlier as well.
Absolutely.
3 turnovers tonight, 2 interceptions, the fumble lost. I anticipate that Merrimack bounces back strong from this, and I still don't think that they're going away tonight. I still think we could see them get in the end zone and show that they don't quit, and I think the number one thing about any team is that you can't win if you don't keep going.
It's a good opportunity here for head coach Kip Jackson to maybe try some plays out in the playbook that maybe he wouldn't have tried otherwise had the score been more competitive at this juncture in the ball game. So it could be a chance here for Merrimack to maybe try some different combinations or some different things to see if maybe they can't conjure up some magic for next week. And at a bare minimum, a touchdown would be a nice treat for the end of this game and would also build up some really strong momentum going into a week of practice as they prepare for next Friday's tilt.
Just want to shout out Kelly Valuzzi out here. Happy to watch the games from home. Thanks for the kind words, Kelly, and thanks for watching.
She printed out your rosters tonight.
Also want to thank Kelly for the roster sheets that we have here. I think we'd be lost without them. Outside of the Merrimack Tomahawks, of course.
I will correct you and say I don't think we would be lost without them. We would absolutely be lost without them, without question. So thank you very much, Kelly, for printing those out for us. It was really, really helpful. And we apologize if we mispronounce anybody's name this evening. We're always trying to do better and to get it right. So hopefully we did.
half the reason you get a nickname is it makes it a whole lot easier to not mess up your name.
Yep, that is absolutely true. I can say the Sarge really well, or the lieutenant, but Sadowski, I could potentially mispronounce that
Yeah, we don't know.
and upset the Sadowski family, which they're all over the country. I feel like there's a lot of them that have tuned in tonight, which is great to see. A lot of Dudash as well. A lot of the Dudash family here in Merrimack this evening, which is great. So really great to just see so many folks that are tuning in and engaging with us and engaging in your community media as well. It's going to be another handoff to Bunis right there. He's going to take that out of bounds. Ridden out of bounds by the Salem High defense here. Minute 15 left here. Bus drivers can turn the bus on, get that bad boy warmed up.
Yeah, these
Ready
boys
for the
deserve it. It's been cold out there tonight.
Cold
in
and
the
rainy.
rain. Wet.
Crampton, unfortunately, is going to take a sack right there. Good pressure being churned upfield by the Salem High defensive line. The normally stout Merrimack offensive line, unfortunately, giving up a sack there.
I'll tell you, they may look a little tired out there, but they, again, something Dave brought up quite a bit a couple weeks ago against Bishop Girton. These boys are pulling double duty on both sides of the ball. A lot of them playing offensive and defensive line,
Absolutely.
skill positions, and defensive back positions, linebackers, etc. So it really is a lot of hard work out there, and got to be something to be proud of, and some more sportsmanship there from Salem.
Absolutely. And speaking of hard work, again, and I cannot say this enough, I just want to give a big thank you, big warm thank you and shout out to the media services coordinator here at Merrimack Media Division. That is Nicholas LaValle, and his assistant media services coordinator, Justin Sluz. Two absolutely world-class human beings that run an amazing operation here at Merrimack TV. If you've never been down here
award-winning
before,
operation.
An
award-winning operation.
Absolutely. Highly recommend if you get the opportunity to take a trip down to the studio, send these guys an email, get your own show on TV.
Well, the clock.
That's kind of cool, right? As the
Quite
clock
cool.
runs out here,
We've hit double zeros.
the 0-0 is the final score of this game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the Salem Blue Devils put up 48 points in a ferocious rushing attack against Merrimack Highs, your Merrimack Tomahawks, 13. So Salem 48, Merrimack 13 here. Show of sportsmanship here at the end of the game. Really a great effort out of both squads. Salem's rushing attack was just too much at the end of the day for Merrimack to handle.
Yeah, it was. Great effort, though, from both sides. I do really like this show of sportsmanship we're seeing. It's been a while since I'd watched high school football until this year, and this reminds me very much of the hockey handshake lines, what we can do with one, in the moments that we live today. And you saw a lot of waving and, acknowledging of each other. And these are obviously kids that have probably played against each other for years in football through Pop Warner or maybe in other sports or even as teammates. So great to see the sportsmanship. I think that's something that definitely makes me feel good to watch. These kids work hard, and I think both teams deserve that proper respect.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ralph, you couldn't have said that any better. On behalf of the entire Merrimack TV crew, we thank you guys for tuning in tonight. My name is Dave Carter, and on behalf of Ralph Carpentier, thank you so much. We will see you for Friday Night Football next week.